Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring an epic fanfic. What if Issei was heir of the Sparda bloodline? Imagine Issei discovering a secret legacy that redefines his destiny and unleashes unimaginable power. If you're excited by this mind-blowing concept, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more awesome content. Now, let's dive into the video. At this time in Kyoto Academy, Orc are preparing for school festival. Everything was going until Ria's this magic circle. She recognized him. It is a symbol of the Phenex. A hologram of a woman in her 20s appeared from the circle. It was Ravel's mother, Lady Phenex. She decided to find out how the Ravel was doing. She was also glad to see me and asked me to protect her daughter. This caused embarrassment to the Ravel. As we ended the conversation, Ria started to leave, but stopped and decided to ask. Ria's Issei, tell me you protect me too. I replied, yes, I will protect you. Ria's and Asia. And I also replied, I will protect her too, even at the cost of my lives. She went on to ask, and Akino too. I kept replying, and her too. She turned around and asked the question. Ria's, tell me, who am I for you? Issei in thoughts, what? I don't understand. What am I to you? Issei, I don't understand. A president is a president. After these words, the eyes of the Gremory began to shed tears after boy's words. Ria's crying baka. She ran away from the club while crying. I want to go after her, but Asia stopped me. She said that shocked me. Asia, Issei, you're awful. Why didn't you understand her feelings? After her words, I felt terrible. The rest also spoke about this. Kaneko, you're the worst. Zenobia, disappointed. Even I, who are not very good at such things, can say that you were wrong, Issei. Everyone at the club was disappointed with me, except Ravel. Issei thoughts, am I guilty? Guilty of being afraid to talk about feelings. I left the club. While walking around Kyoto, I came to place where all began, where I died from Raynar's spear, where Ria's turned me into a demon. Memories flooded me in a huge wave. Will you die for me? This makes me wonder, crying, why? Why should I die? I've almost died almost a few times for them, and it's their gratitude. Moments later, Ddraig come to me. Ddraig worried. Partner, you should not think about. This witches didn't understand how you feel and what kind of hell you been. I think you. My best host ever. You fight no matter what. You fought Riser, Cockabeel, Loki, Vali, and beat him all. You helped Gremory and her peerage with their inner demons. You bring hope to people. Issei thought, thanks Ddraig, you right, I should forgot about them for time. I am sorry for what I get you in. I promise, I will help you return your reputation as Red Dragon Emperor. Ddraig rejoices, that's the spirit. So what your next move? I suggest to contact Azazel. Maybe he can help us. Issei, you're right, I can tack. Without finishing his words, he began to cough up blood. This frightened the Welsh dragon. Ddraig realized that his partner had started a dragon's fall. Ddraig frightened. Oh no, not this, partner, contact Azazel right now. You're suffering because dragon fall. Fortunately, the Ddraig succeeded. He talked with the Azazel through the Fafnir's gem. He arrived as quickly as he could. He saw Issei suffer from the dragon's fall. He was teleported with Issei to Grigory. Luckily, in Grigory, there was Vali and his team. Also, there was Slash Dog. They looked with horror at the state of the Issei divine dividing appeared on Vali's back. Albion, surprised and scared. Ddraig, what's wrong with your host? Ddraig, he's suffering because of dragon's fall. Everyone was surprised. They never heard about this disease. Albion, this is the disease that the dragon suffers from. It begins when dragon is betrayed by its mates or they die. Everyone understand what this mean. Gremory and her peerage betrayed Issei. Ddraig, Albion, help me. I'm going to turn him into a dragon. Albion nodded, of course. Both dragons went to the depths of the Issei's sacred gear. At the same time, Azazel told others how to save. He said that Issei need a mate to prevent deceit. Without a moment's reflection, the Kuroka and Lefay volunteered. As they finished, both girls became his mates. Albion and Ddraig was able to turn boy to dragon. Ddraig said, Ddraig, now when we turn him and extracted his evil pieces, he needs rest. This process will take some. My thanks, Albion. Now his life is safe. Albion answered, don't be. I don't want to see another dragon suffers from this. As the Albion finished, everyone left the room where Issei was. Both girls approached the guy and whispered. Lefay/Kuroka whisper, please come back. After this, they also leave him. During sleep caused by dragonification, Issei had the same vision several times. He was standing in the middle of a field that was surrounded by fog, so strong that nothing could be seen. But still, Issei was able to see the battle of the two. One of them was black. It was covered with scales that resembled armor, its sanctified fiery orange. He had huge horns on his head. It had 4 huge wings which also glowed orange. The second was also covered with a semblance of scaly armor, but it was blue. The head had small horns from which blue flames burst out. It gave the feeling that the head was wearing a samurai helmet. It glowed bright blue. A blue flame also burned on his elbows. They resembled a kind of blade. He also had 4 hues. They fought like sworn enemies, as if nothing cared except their fight. They stood opposite each other, preparing to deliver the final blow. And when they made a dash to each other and struck with their swords, there was a huge explosion. This brought me to my senses and I finally woke up. When I woke up, I felt my body become heavier. I decided to ask the Ddraig what had happened. Issei summoned the gauntlet. Ddraig, you there? What happened to me? Why my body are more heavy the early? Ddraig, welcome back, partner. About your condition, I am proud to say that you now a half-dragon, half-demon. Issei confused, WHAT. Ddraig started to tell what happened to me and what he, Albion and the rest did to save me. Issei, thank you for saving me. Ddraig, as I said, you are the best host I have had. I also didn't want to suffer from this disease. Albion shared my thoughts about this. And what do you think to do after you wake up? And by the way, I forgot, you also awakened your aura. You're one step closer to compare to me when I was at my peak. Also, your senses has become better. Issei confused, aura. Ddraig, aura is the manifestation of one's soul. Every living being has one, and is considered extremely powerful if used properly. For instance, a aura-based attack is 1,000,000 times stronger than a magic-based attack. The only problem is that most races, including gods, have a small, limited amount of aura. My aura is the aura of domination, which gave me the power boost and transfer, while Albion's aura is the aura of supremacy, granting him power to divide. You will need it some time to master it, but don't worry, I help you. Issei giggles and rejoices. Thanks, partner, something else. Ddraig happy. Your look, I suggest to find mirror. Issei walked over to the mirror and marveled at how his appearance had changed. Together with his usual brown eyes, they turned blue. Hair are now. Issei shocked, wow. Ddraig chuckles. I bet every woman would have killed each other to get you. Issei joyful. Yeah, you're right, partner. I was surprised that I looks like Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen. Ddraig chuckles. Yeah, now you need to learn his techniques and Gojo too are ready. Then he began to laughing. Issei laughing had a haha, yeah. A moment later, a Lefay entered the room. On her face you could see a blush from a new look of Issei. After a second, she become passing out. Issei left both surprised and shocked. He put her in his bed, then he changed clothes to Q uniform. Issei, okay, time to find Azazel. It didn't take long, but I still found Azazel's office. He was also surprised that I had changed in appearance. Azazel giggles, my. Issei looks like they woman will fly to you like moths to the fire. Issei serious. Azazel, I have request. Please contact slash dog team. I wanna that you and Lavinia help me to learn magic. Azazel joyful. Okay, anything else? Issei serious. Tell ORK that I don't return for some time. Please tell leaders of faction that I won't be in Kyoto next. Probably 3 months. Azazel okay. Also, I have surprise for you. Then he took out the pawn pieces out of his pocket. Issei surprised, my evil pieces. They seem drained. What happened? Azazel, you've absorbed their energy. I have a theory that perhaps you were able to use this to gain the power of destruction. Issei surprised, while Ddraig began to rejoice that his partner would become stronger than the Crimson Satan. And so day after day, night after night passed. Ddraig helped me with my body and aura. Also, I improved my balance breaker, now unlock Queen mode. Thanks to the advice of Ddraig, I was able to fully study and understand how my aura works. It gives a huge boost to the intellect, which helped in the study of magic. It also allows you to find out if a person is lying to me, extremely convenient if you ask me. Ddraig and I called this aura the aura of the wisest. I wonder what kind of strength my aura can bring. Thanks to her, the advice of Azazel and Lavinia, I was able to learn how to use magic. Now I can use elemental and spatial. When one of the 3 months had passed, I decided to leave Gregory and go to become the best. I personally liked the magic of controlling darkness and shadows. I also wondered if I could create weapons that had this power. Thanks to Azazel's knowledge, we managed to create. I named it Hand of Darkness in honor of the weapons from the last part of FF. During his stay at Gregory, Ddraig became more interested in both games and anime. Thanks to Tobio and Jin from Slashdog, I was able to improve swordsmanship. Once again, Azazel help has created a new battle outfit. I admit, he has style. The outfit included a black cloak with a purple underline with black vest, black jeans, fingerless gloves that were the size of a forearm, and completed it with black. Azazel serious. Are you sure you can handle it yourself? I understand that you unlocked the aura and learned magic. Issei confident. Yes, I am sure I'll be fine. Ddraig and I together. No one can stop us. Ddraig joyful and confident. Yes, Issei is right. No one will stop the two of us. Issei warm smiles. Goodbye, Azazel. Thanks for this. If you need me, you know my. After that, Issei used magic and a circle appeared under him, which he also created during his magic studying. After that, he teleported to another place. It was forest. During my walk, me and Ddraig was planning next step. Ddraig, partner, what do you think to do next? Issei seriously, I plan to find one thing. Wait, there is some kind of sanctuary ahead. Ddraig seriously, is similar to the work of Yakai. Issei serious, let's get. Ddraig and I continued on our way, and came to a small. As I was about to enter the temple, I felt the earth shake. Issei shocked, what the hell? Ddraig worried, getting serious, partner, prepare for battle. A strange creature emerged from the forest. By aura it was a demon. He had a huge horn on his head. The hands glowed with a strange light, the lower paws resembled a bird's, and he had a tail like a... I rushed to that thing, drawing my sword. I struck a few blows with hot hand of the darkness and a scalon, but it did not cause much damage to the creature. Issei thought, it looks like I'll have to go to the next level. Issei resolute balance breaker. Ddraig, Welsh dragon balance breaker. I rushed into battle. I dodged the punch and was able to punch him in the face, but it doesn't seem to stun him. Issei thoughts, guess I have to go to queen form. Issei promotion, queen. A huge light of scarlet energy illuminated everything, and as the light began to fade, my armor was transformed into queen. Note, imagine that there are no Rias near him. I rushed to the creature and struck a huge number of blows. The last blow stunned him. I jumped back and activated bishops. It destroyed the creature. I disabled armor. A ball of light formed and it merged with me, and there was a huge flash of light. When the light faded, I saw that I was wearing black gloves that looked like a wolf's head, and on the legs there were black greaves that resembled. As soon as I went to the temple and opened the door, I saw a sword in its scabbard. The sword had a white hilt, the guard was golden. It had a relief in the form of a dragon. The scabbard itself looked like ebony. The tip was gold and had a lightning relief on it. A golden rope was also tied too. I tried to draw the sword. As I began to pull out my sword, suddenly my eyes began to darken and faint. I woke up in a strange place. It was completely white. On the sides of the room were. Issei, confused, looks around. It's like I'm inside my consciousness. I'm trying to summon Ddraig. Issei, shocked. What? I can't call boosted gear. Upset. Ah, man. Trying to summon HOTD. Well, at least I have this. So, this is who tried to draw my sword. I was surprised that the Red Dragon Emperor was looking for this. Tell me why you were looking for. I turned around and saw a man in his 30s. He had rather pale skin, blue eyes, white hair slicked back. He was dressed in a black cloak with pale blue drawings, a dark turquoise vest, black trousers and black knee-length boots, over them dark cyan half-PS. Issei, confused. Who are you? Serious and emotionless, Vergil, son of Dark Knight Sparda and Eva. Issei, confused. Sparda, realizing I know about Dark Knight that protected mankind. My friends from the church told me about it. His separated two realms, claimed as traitors for demons, hero humans. So you his son, shocked, an honor to meet you, Vergil. Vergil, serious and emotionless. Still you not answered my question, why search for my sword? Issei, determined, I wanna obtain power that no one make hurt again. And I begin tell Vergil's story of my life. How get dragged into supernatural, battle against Phenex, holy sword arc, fight against Loki, saving Rias and defeat my other self, battle against hero faction. Vergil's Pav. After this boy finished telling about his past, in my mind I admired his struggle. Despite his death, he continued to struggle. He reminded me of my father, but still he had to achieve the power himself. So I decided. Vergil, serious, if you want power you need to fight for it. Are you ready? Issei, resolute, ready. Vergil smirks, let's have some. Note, I think it's perfect theme for this. Note, instead of Clive, imagine Issei. Vergil grabbed Yamato, and Issei summoned Hand of the Darkness. Both were facing each other. In their eyes, like hellfire, burned their desire to defeat the other. Issei made a dash at Vergil, but the son of Sparda repelled the attacks by removing his sword from its scabbard. The young half-dragon made another attack, delivering countless ringing blows, and Vergil deflected them. Yamato combo. Issei jumped back and stood. He created another copy of sword and began to cut everything that was in the way. The son of Sparda, as usual, dodged most of the attacks of the Issei, but still, Vergil received a cut from the last cruciform blow. Vergil smirks. It gets more interesting. Vergil stood up and began to draw, and at the same moment sheathed his sword, and Issei felt himself being attacked from all. Issei fell to his knees, but still his keep standing. Issei, serious, while his body bleeding, I said, I won't give up. Vergil, serious, well, then. Vergil stand in stance, while blue energy was gathered around his body and he changed his appearance. His activated Sin Devil. Issei too getting serious and activated his dragon aura and also stand in stance, while holding his. Instead of black, imagine red. They rushed to each other, preparing to strike a decisive blow. There was a huge shockwave from their blow. Vergil stabbed Issei, while Issei was able to cut little older son of Sparda. Vergil pulled out Yamato out of Issei and said, Vergil, serious, will you continue to fight? Issei, determined, yes, I will have power, I need more power, I will not serve to anyone. But for young half-dragon disappointment, he fell past out of exhaustion. While Vergil seen this, he chuckles. Vergil chuckles. Guess you are worthy of Yamato and my. Vergil, I sat on a chair and waited for the guy to wake up. At the same time, he and Ddraig had an interesting talk. Ddraig curious so, how did inside of your own sword? Vergil, I don't know myself. Maybe when my parts was combined again, a piece of my soul become a part of Yamato. Curious, so did he meet Albion and his host? Ddraig, yeah, fought him during the leader summit. Also he took a part of his power but still don't know to use. Vergil curious, maybe you help him awake this power, and if you hear that means Beowulf killed and boy have devil arm. Ddraig, yeah he did, thinking of teaching. Vergil nodded. As they were have a good chat, a white-haired began to wake up. Issei confused, Ddraig you here, why you haven't come earlier? Ddraig saddened, I'm sorry partner for this, only able to come when fight was over, and Vergil allowed me to come. Vergil, indeed, I want to test you and you pass. I'll help you to master Yamato and other devil arms, but you need to find my brother's sword, it'll help you later. To open portal with Yamato, you need to think where you want to go and make a couple of slashes to form a portal. I think you should be going. Issei, yeah, time to wake up. Everything began to turn dark. The next moment he opened eyes and see Yamato lying opposite him. He stand up, grab the blade and... Note replace wolf with Issei. Issei whisper, I will become stronger. It's been a week since I got the Yamato, and I've been able to get a little bit of Vergil's Dark Slayer style, but I'm still lacking practice. In the meantime, I was already in a place where I could feel the energy of Devil Sword Dante. Issei resolute, we are close, there is not much left. Ddraig serious, yeah, just a little longer. Vergil tacitly nodded. They continued to walk in the direction where the demonic energy of the sword emanated. We reached the place, but saw a huge number of demons that had gathered. Issei confused, what the? Why are there so many demons here? Oh no, they must have found the sword. Ddraig confused, maybe. If they actually found it, then we take it. Vergil serious. I agree with Welsh Dragon, this sword is belonged to only Sparda and his family. Issei determined, all right, let's get this sword. After this conversation, Issei came out of hiding and went to meet the guards. Guard, walk away, it doesn't concern such a lower demon. Issei did not stand now, and in the blink of an eye with the help of a Yamato, he killed 2 guards at the gate. Issei irritated him, not my concern, oh no, this sword is mine. Issei continued on his way through the dungeon, fighting a huge number of demons along the way. Finally, he reached a place that resembled an arena. Issei thought, like last time, I guess that's the reason why they brought a lot of. Issei, not finishing the thought, dodged the attack of the rider, who was covered with lightning. Horse itself was made of blue flame. Issei, without hesitation, summoned his sword, performed a drive, then 1,000,000 stabs, and at the end high time and helm. Issei almost killed the horse, but to his surprise, the horse began burn and become faster or Issei. Issei confused him, like Gasper's power to control time. Okay, I need to be careful. The guy continued to dodge the rider's attacks, striking back at the horse, and he finally managed to kill the horse. The knight himself remained, but managed to escape. Issei fell to his knees from exhaustion. After couple minutes, he stand up and continued way to his goal. After all, his was able to found a huge sword made of some kind magma. The guard of the sword was in the form of 4 claws. At the end of the handle was a huge red. Issei, so, that's Devil Sword Dante, I must say really badass. Vergil, I found it, what's next? Vergil, to awake our power, you need to stab yourself with this sword. Issei confused, WW1. Issei was discouraged. He had to pierce himself to gain power. Power to show that Red Dragon Emperor. No, Hayadu Issei won't bow to anyone. They, THOSC who oppose HIM will kneel before HIM. Issei thought sigh, all right, it's time. Stab boy stab himself with the legendary devil sword. Like blood flowing like a river to the floor, demonic energy began to gather. Meanwhile, Issei had flashbacks of his life. Childhood, date with Fallen, life as pawn of Gremory. Issei began to hate his perversion that caused his death. He don't want to be weak like the time when he can't protect Asia. After these words, there was a huge explosion of demonic energy. When the dust settled, you could see the creature that Issei had become. He awakened the power of the Dark Knight Sparda devil. Note, he have only pair of wings, those near torso, not back. Then he transformed back and passed out for some time. Time skip. It takes some hours to Issei. Then Ddraig spoke up. Ddraig, so partner, what's next our move? Looks at Vergil asterisk or you have some plane. With devil trigger was your idea. Vergil serious, the boy himself desire power. I only said that sword help him. It was his decision to go after. Ddraig can only nodded, cause Vergil was right, but Issei cut their conversation. Issei determined, shut up both of you. I'll back at Grigory and continue training. Questions. Ddraig and Vergil remained silent. Then Issei teleported back to Azazel. Azazel surprised Issei. I thought you said that you need 3 months. Issei calm, I know I said that. But in reality it took more than 1 week and a half. So I wanna ask, can stay here for some time. Azazel of course kid, anything else? Issei no thanks Azazel. Issei walked to the room and locked it. He went to bed, put on his headphones and started listening to music. The last song ended, the guy fell asleep soundly. Time skip 2 months. It was a typical morning. I finished my workout with Yamato and Beowulf. After his fight with the Jurian, Issei trained to manipulate time. But then, in a magical circle, Azazel contacted me. Issei, Azazel, what's wrong? Azazel, nothing special kid, they just want to talk to you. Issei with me, and who is it? Azazel, I'm sorry, but they asked me not to tell you. Issei, okay, where to go? Azazel, I'll send the details. After Azazel sent the coordinates of the meeting place, Issei went there. He was surprised that it was in Kyoto. Issei, interesting, and who wants to meet me? I hope not Ria's and her peerage. Ddraig, partner, I suggest you just come and find out. Vergil, I agree with Ddraig. If there are problems, you will have enough strength to cope with it. Issei, thank you guys. When I came in here, I saw a well-made meeting room and people sitting around a table I recognized very well. They were Surzets, Seraphal, and Ajuka, devil kings. Issei, surprised, good to see you. Lords Lucifer and Beelzebub, Lady Leviathan. Surzets, we are also glad to see you, Issei, but we have come on an important matter. Issei, I suppose Azazel told you what happened to me. Seraphal, yes. When I heard you were dying, I was going to drop everything and move to Gregory, but this terrible paperwork did not let them rush to your aid. Surzets and Ajuka nodded silently, as all this paperwork is as horrible as the worst nightmare. Issei giggles nervously, and not worth it, I'm fine now. But that's the only reason why you wanted to meet. Surzets, no, we've come to find out why you're not Ria's. Don't you love each other? Ajuka, I would also like to know what happened to the evil pieces. No one in the history of the underworld. Issei ****, one question at a time. First of all, I had a bad situation with Ria's. At Orc, when Ravel's mother got in touch and asked me to look after her, Ria's asked me what she meant to me and I said she was. For me, the president. She ran out of there calling me an idiot, the others said I was terrible. I don't understand why. Surzets, irritated, did you make Ria's cry? Do you at least have an idea of how bad she is? Issei, listening to this, could not bear it and shouted. Issei, irritated and screaming, and how I feel, she thought. No, she didn't understand that I was scared. Sazix confused, scared. Why? Issei tries to say through the tears and pain of the memories, it's because of Rainier. She was my first girlfriend, her betrayal hurt. Now I'm afraid that if I fall in love, I'll be betrayed. As Issei finished speaking, it was evident that tears were flowing from his cheeks. The guy just wanted love and got a spear in the heart and psychological trauma. Devil King, who were in shock to hear this. They feel pity for the boy. Surzet's ashamed. Issei, I didn't know. I apologize for these words. Issei, it's okay, Surzets, it's not your fault. She's dead and doesn't hurt anyone else. And as for this, I'm already beginning to overcome this fear. For now, I've decided to close my heart to people. As for your question, Lord Beelzebub, I was dying. The only way to save me is dragonification. With the help of Ddraig and Albion, I am now half dragon, half demon. When the transformation was over, I found out that I had absorbed the energy of the evil pieces. The answer surprised Beelzebub. He did not believe that such a thing was possible. Issei, is that all? The conversation is over. Surzets, not yet. Do you remember the rantic game against Ser Yorg? So it will be tomorrow. Issei had already understood what Lucifer meant. They promised each other a fight, and Issei had no intention of refusing. Time skip. In a couple of minutes, the battle between the teams of Ser Yorg Baal and Rhea's Gremory will begin. The whole Gremory team was surprised at how Issei had changed. They tried with him, but he ignored them. Issei thought, it's time. Ser Yorg, I won't lose to you. Ddraig joyful, that's the spirit partner. Vergil serious, show him the power of Sparda. Issei thought, yes. Vergil, I have a request for you. Vergil confused, and what? Issei, can I bear the name of Sparda? Vergil just smirked and nodded silently. Time skip. We snatched a few victories but lost Kaneko. Now Seorarug decided to exhibit his bishop and said that my perverted techniques on it do not work, but they don't know that I don't use it now, and that's good for me. I went out and we were transferred to the arena. As I expected, they tried to exploit my perversity. She began to undress. Issei, ridiculous, ha? Seriously, this doesn't work for me anymore. Summon the gauntlet, let's go. Balance breaker. Ddraig, Welsh dragon balance breaker. As armor appeared, I was flying in her direction and boosted myself. I hit her with every power I have, and that was enough to knock out. Everyone was surprised. That didn't was staring at her breast or doing usual perverted stuff. Ser Yorg thought, his surprised me that he changed. I hope he can still give a good fight. Rhea's thought, does that Issei? He isn't him. That's just hollow version of him. It's our fault that he's become like this. As match continued, we won most of them, but only one left me. Rhea's and Asia against Ser Yorg and his pawn. We left outside cause she is not fighter, when we came to arena to make my confession. Issei, seriously, please pay attention to all those who hear this. I know you know me as Hayadu Issei, but I refuse to be called Hayadu now called. Note switch Nero with Issei. My name is Issei Sparda. I'm no longer a pawn of RiasgrimorY. All of Watcher of Game was stunned that Dark Knight Sparda was no legend, and Issei was calling him by his last name. Note, song for very good battle. Ser Yorg joyful, I can't believe that can fight with descendant of Dark Knight. Bring it on, Issei. Cold as you wish. Activated his DT Devil trigger. Everyone was shocked to see power that was able to separate two worlds. They rushed at each outer. Ser Yorg was punching him with his fists, and Issei was able to counter every attack with Yamato. Meantime, Regulus, pawn of Ser Yorg, revealed himself. He is 113 Longinus Nemean Regulus. Regulus, worried, Lord Ser Yorg, use me and you'll win the battle. Ser Yorg, annoyed, no. That's only if the underworld is in danger. Issei, demonic, have you forgot? We promised that we fight at full strength, so don't back down and use the power of lion. Ser Yorg, forgive me, I forgot about this. All right then, Regulus. Regulus run to Ser Yorg and gold bean of. As the light subsided, Ser Yorg was in golden lion armor. I used trick to get closer. Ser Yorg punched, but he was surprised. He missed. I was able quick dodge. The eye equipped Beowulf and began to punch Ser Yorg. He punched that it stunned him. Issei used Dragon Breaker to throw him in. Then while his foe in air, Issei used Lunar Phase and Issei thought on last attack and I won. Issei began to charge his left arm with energy of light, while he used boosted gear to boost attack. Issei, this fight is over. As Boy punched the earth, huge explosion happened, as dust. Ser Yorg was lying unconscious. Judge, winner is Ria's Gremory. When the judge said these words, Issei fainted from this exhaustion. At the same time, everyone was surprised by his strength. After I defeated Ser Yorg, I passed out. At this time, I spoke with Ddraig and Vergil. Issei, Ddraig, Vergil, what's wrong? Ddraig, partner, it's okay. It's just that you passed out after your last attack. Vergil, this is to be expected, given that you used Beowulf's most powerful technique in combination with the boosted gear. Also with the devil trigger, I was surprised that the arena was not destroyed by that. Issei, yes, I must have gone too far, but Ser Yorg and I promised that we would fight in full force. Ddraig, and so, you were able to defeat the strongest young demon. Issei, thank you guys. I think now I need to think about promotion. Ddraig, you didn't give up on this idea with a harem. At these words, Ddraig had goosebumps down his spine and unpleasant memories asterisk. Vergil only facepalm about Issei's motivation to become a high-class demon. Issei, no, even though this was my main goal, but after almost the second death, I decided that it was worth not being distracted by women. Now my main goal is to become the best version of myself. Stronger, smarter. I won't stop until I reach my goal. After these words, Ddraig and Vergil rejoiced that their partner had not departed from the goal. After that, Issei woke up. He saw that he was lying in the medical room. On the other bed lay Ser Yorg. Ser Yorg woke up. It was a wonderful fight. I didn't think I would be happy to lose. Issei, yes, the fight was great. I enjoyed it too, and I won't stop. I will become high-class devil. Ser Yorg, haha. I like your attitude, Hayadu. Issei, I hope you succeed. We should fight again. Next time I'll win. Issei, I will also be happy to fight, but the victory will be mine. We wanted to continue the conversation, but we noticed how Serzech came into the room. Issei shocked. Lord Serzech, aye. Serzech, calm. It's all right, I've come to talk. Ser Yorg, should I leave to talk? Serzech, no, you can stay. As for Issei, many devils are talking about your promotion to mid-class. Issei shocked, really? I don't have words. Ser Yorg, good job, carry on, you can do it. Issei shocked, wait, if I promote there will be test, and I need to prepare to school test. After he remembered the school, Issei's head almost burst from everything that would happen to him in the near future. Serzech, calm. Don't worry, your friend will help you with the promotion test. I think you remember her. Issei, confused. Who are you talking about, Lord Serzech? As I asked Sazix, a rather familiar person entered the room. It's been a long time since we saw Issei-sama. Issei, surprised. Yes, we haven't seen each other for a long time. How are you doing, Ravel? The girl who entered the room turned out to be Ravel Phenex. From her expression, she was very happy to see me. Issei thought, probably after the situation in the Orc, she blamed herself very much. It's not her fault, but still, I'm glad to see a familiar face. Issei, joyful, good to see you, Ravel. I suppose you'll help me with the promotion test. Ravel, blushing. Yes, when Lord Lucifer said you would need help with the test, I agreed to help. Issei, calm, I see. Time skip. It's been 2 weeks since I recovered and returned to Earth. When I returned to Kyoto Academy, all the girls blushed at the sight of me, but the first days were wary of fire. No wonder, given my past as a pervert. My head hurts from all this. Ravel irritated, come on. You have to do this. Issei made an evil face. Issei tired. I'm trying, Ravel. I'm trying to understand the language of devils. I sometimes think it's easier to learn English than devilish. At this time, Ddraig and Vergil look with a smirk at the suffering of the Issei. In Issei's mind, Ddraig, so, what did I come up with for the combat part of the exam? Vergil, I'm also wondering what's on your mind. Issei, Ddraig, remember the FF-15, Bahamut's Ultima Blade. I think I try to repeat this technique. Ddraig worried, I think you're playing too much. Issei irritated, hey, games are cool. They can provide inspiration for tricks, also manga, manhwa, and books. Vergil, yes, you're right about that, Issei. From his thoughts, Issei was snatched by Ravel. Sometimes it seems to me that this test, a real torture. Time skip. I passed the exams at the academy, and now I'm on the exam for promotion. I finished the written part of the exam. Now I need to show what I can show in battle. My opponent was swordsman. I easily dodged his attacks. The battle was watched by Ravel, Riaz, and her peerage. Ravel nodded to me, and I knew it was time to show up. Issei thought, let's go. Issei shouts, dragons. Fear. This is one of my new attacks. I reread solo leveling and decided to do this trick. From this scream, everyone who was here felt fear and weakness in front of me, even froze in horror. When I saw that this happened to the enemy, I realized it was time to finish. I took out Yamato and built up energy around me and formed blades around. Issei screams and points his Yamato at the enemy, Ultima. And the blades flew at the enemy, and they cut it down. Referee, the winner is Heir of Issei. Time skip. The results came. Ravel joyful. We are pleased to announce that Heir of Issei, Akino Himejima and Kiba Yudo is officially recognized as a demon of the middle class. Confirmed by Surzech Lucifer, Seraphal Leviathan, Ajuka Beelzebub and Falbium Asmodeus. Everyone is happy. Ria's proud, well done my beloved peerage. I think we need to celebrate this. All Issei. Ria's Issei, I want to talk to you if you don't mind. Issei, all right, Gremory. Issei whispered, Ravel, we can talk after that. Ravel in a whisper, of course. As everyone left the club, Riaz began to speak. Riaz, Issei is very glad that Yao became a demon of the middle class. I hope that when you become a high-class demon, we will be together, my dear Pa. Issei, annoyed, no Riaz. As I said during the match against Ser Yorg, I'm not your pawn. Riaz crying, why, what happened to you? Please, that's enough, you're hurting me. After you come back from Gregory, you behave differently. I miss your stupid, perverted habits. Please become the same you were. Please, tears flowed from her necks. At the same time, Issei was looking at Riaz. Anger burned within him. Issei angry, and I can't hurt. You wanted me to say your name then. But you didn't understand. I was scared to fall in love. I helped all of you, but no one, absolutely no one thought if I was scared. I was betrayed. Several times I did not die again. My love cost me almost a second death RIASGREMORY. From now on, know that I will never love you in the same for your peerage. After these words, Issei left the office, leaving a weeping Riaz alone. When he went outside, he saw Ravel waiting for him at the gate. Ravel worried, is everything okay? Issei, now yes, she will need time to think about it. Ravel worried, Issei-sama, are you sure? Issei sobbing, I don't know, I just want peace and quiet. After these words, tears flowed from Issei's cheeks. Ddraig knew it wasn't easy to say those words to Gremory. Vergil was silent. Ravel hugged Issei. She moved them to the house that Azazel had given. Issei calmed down. Thank you very much, Ravel. After that, he went to the bedroom. After couple minutes, Ravel come to his bedroom. Ravel worried. Issei-sama can sleep with you. Issei only smirked in his mind. Issei, of course, you have every right to sleep next. Without your help, I could not pass the exams. So it's okay if that's what you want. Then both of them fell asleep. Morning, I got up quite early and saw that Ravel was actually lying with me. Issei thought, maybe we should leave the heart open, but only for her. I got dressed and left the room. I went to the forest to practice. I took out Yamato and began to collect demonic energy in my hand. I shaped it and I did it. Now Vergil may be in the outside world but in the form of a ghost. Vergil surprised him. Good, and now it will be more convenient to train you. Ready. Issei ready. I will not back down. Vergil nodded silently. Vergil showed the techniques and Issei. Vergil was severe, but it was clear that it was necessary. I can't be allowed to be manipulated again. After when I finished practicing Yamato's strongest move, judgment cut end, I sat down and decided to talk to Vergil. Issei, Vergil, can you tell me about how you lived? Vergil, and why interest in my past? The past was a pain for Verg. A fire in the house, death at the hands of demons, life that has become survival, decades of service to Mundus. These memories were a nightmare for Sparda's son. Vergil grimaced at the sight of these. Issei, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to hurt. Vergil, nothing. That was a long time ago. But still, I'll tell you about the past. And he began to talk about his life. Issei was speechless at the story of Vergil. They've been through something similar, but Vergil had it worse. Issei, hey Verg, if something bothers you, speak up. You like Ddraig are my partner. We can help each other. I am very grateful to you for your help, and if you're worried about something, say it. Vergil from these words a little smiled. They bro-fisted. Vergil became serious. Let's go back to training. Issei, yeah. After that, I sat down and began to meditate. Inside consciousness, Vergil and I were sparring. Vergil, okay, you're getting better, but Vergil rushed at me. Issei blocks Yamato, using the hand of darkness. Time skip. They fought for several hours. When Issei woke up, it was already sunset. Issei felt that he was being looked at with the intention of killing. And he was right. Turning around, he saw Ravel, who was very unhappy. Replace Toko with. Even Ddraig and Vergil were scared of young Phenex. Issei thought scared. Guess Azazel were right, hell hath no fury like a woman. Issei, Ravel. I before I could speak, she slapped me a few times. Issei, it hurts but it deserves. Ravel irritated, you went where, didn't say so. At the same time you left for a day. What's your excuse, mister? Looks at me while arms crossed. Issei struggled to find the words. Issei nervous, I trained. Vergil will confirm my words. After this words Vergil appeared in spectral form. Although Vergil was a man with a constantly stone face, but even he was frightened how terrible a woman can be. Vergil nervous, why yes Issei and I trained. Ravel dissatisfied, okay, but warn me or leave at least a note. Issei lowered his head, okay. As my apology, we can go on a date. Ravel blushed, but smiled at this idea. While Issei was nervous about that because his last date ended up him being killed and revived as devil. Time skip. The next day Ravel and I went to town on a date. I wore a black hoodie, a white t-shirt, black jeans, and white crosses. At the same time Ravel chose evocative clothes. She wore a red little dress. Imagine Ravel wearing ruby rose dress when there was dancing at Beacon. This time I didn't let my perversity blind myself. But all the same, I liked the time I spent with Ravel. We were walking down the street and saw a tea cafe. Ravel happily, Issei, let's have some tea. Issei giggles, okay my Phenex. We entered the cafe, sweet world. Waiter, welcome to the sweet world. What do you want to order? Issei, yes, I will have black tea and chocolate chip cookies and you Ravel. It could be seen that it was difficult for her to choose. Ravel, oh, I will be the same as you except cookies. Chocolate cheesecake, please. Waiter, of course. The waiter left and we waited for our orders. Ravel, Issei, did you go on dates? From this question, Issei had pictures of the past. Issei, yes, but please, let's not bring it up. We waited a minute and they brought us our food. Both of us have stars in eyes 'cause the look of food was delicious. We ate and drank all we ordered. I left a tip for the good service. We walked, reached the park. The same park when everything begins. Ravel, Issei, close your eyes. Issei closed his eyes, but he couldn't calm down. Inside him, a whirlwind of fear and doubt whirled. But they dispelled, felt a sensation of warmth on his cheek. When he opened his eyes, he saw Ravel, who kissed him on the cheek. As soon as she finished, on her face was warm smile. Ravel, thanks Issei, this was best day in my life. Issei, I'm glad that you happy Ravel. If you wanted to go on date, just say it. Now we should return. We have school tomorrow. We moved back home and went to bed. A few weeks passed. Ravel and I became pretty close. So far, no one knows about it. And good. Life in the academy is a hassle. I'm reading Blake's poems right now. Issei thought, now I understand why Vergil loved it. It's beautiful. I put the book in my backpack. I walked through the academy and saw former friends. Matsuda afraid, Issei helped hide us. Motohama scared, we peeked at the kendo club, you must understand us. Issei only looked at them with a stone face and began to go in the opposite direction. Meanwhile, the girls from the club caught up with the perverts and beat them with wooden swords. After a while, the girls at the academy rejoiced that there was no one of the three main perverts, but they were a little frightened by the change in Issei. He became closed, cold to other people, but not evil. The girls tried to talk to him, but he either listened to music, read, or walking around academy. One evening, he used the Yamato to get to the sea. The view was. But the enjoyment of the sight of water element was interrupted the feeling that somewhere nearby there is a source of evil. Issei, alarmed, Ddraig, did you feel it? As if some kind of negativity has taken shape is nearby. Ddraig, alarmed, yes, it looks like an evil dragon is nearby, and I know you want to know who it is. It's a crescent moon dragon. You know his name as well as Vergil. Issei, surprised, Vergil, did you fight Cruach? Vergil, seriously, yes, I fought him. I must say, a worthy opponent. I think over the past time he has become stronger. As Vergil finished speaking, a man appeared before the man. His hair was black and gold. He had heterochromia, one eye golden, the other black. He wore clothes with gold. Crom, it's been a long time since we've seen Ddraig, how are you? Defeated Albion. Boosted gear appeared on my arm. Ddraig, yes, my host managed to fight him and force him to use the Juggernaut drive. Crom, ho, I'm impressed with how do Issei, or Heir of Sparda. Issei only had a smirk on his face. He understood why Cruach came to him, a thirst for battle. Issei also developed a fighting excitement. Crom, let's get started. Just perfectly fits. I activated Beowulf and we started hand-to-hand combat. Each of the punches we exchanged was quite powerful. Issei, Ddraig, come on. Ddraig, boost, 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 boost. Explosion. I strengthened myself and continued to strike the Crom Cruach. These blows have already done more damage to the evil. The last blow to the nose. The blow caused bleeding. Crom Cruach rejoices, excellent, admirably, you're strong, Issei Sparda. Wipes blood from the nose. Crom created a bunch of black lightning bolts and began to shoot them at me. Thanks to Vergil's Dark Slayer style, I was able to dodge perfectly. I showed up behind him and started using the Yamato. Used aerial combo B, Then barrage of judgment cuts. The used trick down and activated Ultima blade. Issei screaming Tiamat. Hundreds of blades flew towards the dragon, but he was able to destroy them with black lightning. But that's what Issei was waiting for. He distracted the enemy and moved over him. He equipped the Hand of Darkness and used a helm breaker, but in response, Crom managed to hit the guy with lightning. This wounded Issei, but he did not back down. When both were on Earth, Issei used Hell on Earth along with Boosted. This stunned Sruach and Issei stood in a stance and began to cut the surrounding space with incredible. The fight was finished. He sheathed the Yamato but fell to his knees. Both opponents were on their knees and tired. Cruach rejoice, it was a good fight. I hope we will fight again. Issei smirks. Crom told me what he was doing here. He was allied with Vali's grandfather Ravel and Lucifer. They were looking for a half-breed vampire named Valerie Tseeps. She possessed the necessary Raisvim sacred gear, the Holy Grail. They wanted to start a new war and free the beast of the apocalypse. I said that he had acted foolishly in allowing myself to be commanded. At first he was angry with me and fired lightning at me, but then he realized that I was right. His dragon pride could not forgive that. I moved to my room and lay asleep. The next day I contacted Surzech and told the others what the Crom had said. To say they're scared is an understatement. They trembled with fear of it. Vali volunteered to kill his grandfather. I volunteered to save Valerie. Gaspar also volunteered, but to his disappointment he was refused. I could see how worried it was for him. I assumed she was his friend. Time skip. At that time I went to Romania, or rather to Transylvania. I should have found Valerie before the enemies. I fought my own way here. Blood was flowing like river. I found a girl whose face resembled a porcelain doll. She had red eyes and blonde hair. The body shape was. Issei, are you Valerie? I held out my hand, but she moved back first. She's afraid of me. Issei, don't worry, I won't hurt you. I want to help you. Valerie, who are you? Issei, my name is Issei. I have come to save you from those who want to harm you. She hesitated, but then she gave me her hand. I dragged her out of the castle, closing her eyes so that she would not be frightened. I moved back to the underworld. Riaz and took care of her, Valerie and Gaspar, very good friends. It's been a week since I rescued Valerie. She began to go to the academy, and Gaspar began to lead courageously and even began to wear men's clothes. He probably doesn't want to lose her. As I was reading the manga, he came up to me. Issei, Gaspar, is something wrong? Gaspar, Issei, I see, came asking for help. Issei, sure, what's the matter? Gaspar, can you train me? Issei chuckles, is it because of Valerie? At these words, smoke began to come out of Gaspar's ears. Issei, yes, I will help, but I advise you to think. It will be hell straight up. You ready? Gaspar nodded. Time skip. So a week passed. I asked Azazel to use Gregory's training field. He agreed. At first Gaspar, as I expected, cried and whined. But he continued to fight. I'm glad that one of my old team is getting stronger. I was resting and a rather risky thought came to my mind. Issei, Vergil, when you pierced yourself Yamato, you separated yourself into two parts. Is it possible to do the same trick but with me? Vergil, yes, that's possible, but are you sure? Ddraig and Issei smirked, knowing what the Issei could do that others thought impossible. Issei, finish Gaspar's training first, then we'll deal with it later. We have finished training. I kept thinking about Vergil's case. Ddraig deserves freedom. For too long he has suffered from people, from my antics. Issei thought so. God, you really messed up. I summoned the Yamato and pointed it in front of the boosted gear. Issei scared, ready. Ddraig. Ddraig scared, ready. Issei, Ddraig, I want to tell you, thank you for being with me. Without you I wouldn't be like this. I wouldn't know that myths and legends are real. I wouldn't meet many people and friends. I wouldn't have a life full of adventures. A lonely tear ran down my cheek. Ddraig was happy with Issei. After all, they became brothers. Previously, only strength was seen in him. But Issei is special. At first, Ddraig's acquaintance with Issei was not very good, but he is glad that it was this boy who became his host. The silence was stopped by the sound of the grinding of steel. Yamato pierced his hand. Vergil, Issei, repeat after me. Issei was incredibly painful, but he was able to hear the words of his partner. Issei/Vergil, break this heavy chain. That does freeze my bones around. Meanwhile in heaven, Angel Lord Michael boosted gear. It is no longer visible in the list of Longinus. Michael, how? How is this possible in the name of the Father? Please contact Gabriel. Tell her to know what happened to Issei and Ddraig. Meanwhile in Gregory, Fafnir, things are getting better. It looks like the red dragon of domination is free again on all four sides. Azazel had a smirk on his face at the news. He wanted to understand how the Ddraig was free again, although he understood who had a hand in this. Azazel giggles, well, kid, you're really doing things that others can't. Meanwhile, Issei cringed and tried to calm the pain with willpower. At the same time, in the place where he had pierced Yamato's hand, a blue light began to appear which later died. A dragon lay near his hand. The color of his scales resembled. Issei exhausted Ddraig, now you are free, smiled and fainted asterisk. Ddraig saw that Issei's hand was bleeding. He was approached by a man he did not expect to. Ddraig, even you were set free. Good to see you, Vergil. How does it feel that you again? Vergil, we'll talk later, we'll take care of him. First took Issei in his arms, both flew to Azazel that he helped. They managed to make it in time and Issei now needs to rest. He has lost a lot of blood so far. Ddraig volunteered to help him. When they finished the transfusion, Ddraig went to one of his caves. Time skip week later. Issei woke up and felt a heaviness on his chest. When he opened his eyes, he saw Ravel lying on top of him, and he also saw Vergil sitting on a chair reading a book. Vergil took your time. Issei smiles, nice to see you, Vergil. Before he said word, he was hit by Ravel. Ravel crying, you idiot. Have think about me, when Peirce your arm. As she finished, she cried on my chest. Issei, I'm so sorry, Ravel. I hugged her, we spent more than 5 minutes in the hug. Vergil, cough asterisk. I don't want to ruin the moment, but if you forgot, you need to get better. By the way, when Ddraig and I brought you here, he went to one of his caves. As Vergil mentioned to Ddraig, a figure in armor with red scales entered the. Issei confused Ddraig. Ddraig, yes, it's me, partner. I went to the cave in Wales to learn how to take human form, also for new armor and weapons. Time skip, couple days later. I was contacted by Surzech. He said they wanted to talk to me. Issei, Ddraig, can you meet me halfway? I feel they will want an explanation about you, and I think they will listen to you. Ddraig, of course, a partner. I think they will also want to marry some daughters of noble clans to you in order to get strong descendants. Issei pissed. If it goes like this, then they are already digging their fucking grave. I'm with you. Issei surprised. Okay, Vergil. We moved to the underworld. I walked into a room where a lot of devils were sitting. Issei thought, it seems that this is the faction of the great king. Old idiots. Issei Hayadu, we are glad that you responded to our invitation to talk. I'll introduce myself. My name is Zekrem Baal. I'm the oldest demon so far. Issei, nice to meet you, Lord Baal. I want to know why you wanted to see me. Zekrem, you see, as you know, high-class demons need to preserve the purity of blood and. Issei, hearing these words, began to release an aura full of anger and hatred towards these people. He hates marriages of convenience. He is also supported by Ddraig and Vergil. The three of them released an aura that horrified the Devil Council. Issei. No one points to the dragon, especially when it comes to his mates. This is the first and last warning. One, you will give me the title of Ultimate Class Demon. Two, I married to Ravel from House of Phenex. If you try, arrange marriage with me, my friends, my loved one. I swear I kill every fucking person, that part of this stupid concil. 3. I'm tired of saying, I'm Issei Sparda. Hyodou died because of RIAS and her peerage. Vergil began to speak. Vergil pissed, I will repeat his words, he's a Sparda. Ddrig, Zekram and the king's faction, remember this day, if you offend us, we will burn the whole underworld to dust. The three of us moved back to my house. The next day, I had regular sparring sessions with Vergil. We were improving, getting better. The three of us became brothers. At time, Ddraig and Vergil fought on a training field in the underworld. Vergil left me Beowulf, but still I fell in love with wielding a Yamato. I was lying in my room listening to music. I was about to fall asleep. I heard a knock on the door. Issei, come in. Ravel came into my room. Issei, what's up, my Phenex? Ravel, nothing happened, but I want to visit my family and tell me about us. And I want to take you with me. At these words, a chill ran down my spine. Meeting with parents is always an exciting event, especially if you disrupted one wedding for them. Issei, and when do you want to leave? Ravel, I think tomorrow. I've already chosen a costume for you. Time skip tomorrow. I was in a suit. Ravel and I were standing in front of the Phenex. With coat. Ravel ready. I'm a little worried. Issei exhale ready. We entered the manor and were greeted. We walked to the living room. There was a riser, Ravel's mother and another version of the riser, but only older. Probably it's either Ravel's father or her brother Ravel. Lord Phenex, welcome back Ravel, good to see you. I see you brought Issei to us. Walked up to Issei and held out his hand, glad to meet Issei Sparda, I'm Lord Phenex. You already know Riser, Ravel, and my wife. Issei shakes an outstretched hand, nice to meet you, Lord Phenex. Time skip. I explained the whole situation to the council and Ravel. Her family was shocked, but happy. Lady Phenex, so, when is the wedding? This made Issei and Ravel's faces reddened, as if they were burning. Lord Phenex fainted a little, thinking that he might soon be a father-in-law. Riser's jaw dropped. Riser remembered the time when Issei broke into the wedding and defeated him. He understood that he would not let Ravel be offended if Ravel gets hurt. Riser had goosebumps from realizing how dangerous dragons are in rage. Riser, hey Issei, how about our little rematch? I've trained with Ser Yorg, so the outcome will be different. Issei only smirks from this offer. Issei grins, okay, I don't mind a good fight. When do we start? Riser, 10 minutes will be fine. Issei smirks, more than enough. Time skip, 10 minutes later. Ready, Issei. Issei cocky, ready. Riser flew into the air and began to shoot fire at me. I dodged them. Issei, come on, something stronger than this. Smirk asterisk. Riser, you asked for it. He let a stream of flame come at me. I took out my sword and cut the stream. But the riser arrived after that. I was able to cut it, but not much. We stood opposite each other and rushed at each other. I equipped Beowulf and he covered his hands with fire. We exchanged blows, one by one. We're both trying to defeat each other. Beowulf uses the power of light, so that's a slight advantage, but also Riser became stronger. The fight is really good. His healing was a little stronger than mine. He really got stronger. We continued the scuffle. Both were bleeding, but Riser took off again using fiery wings and will try to catch me and hit me. I was able to dodge his last punch, and I activated. I used Dragon Breaker to finishing. After that, he fell. Music stops. Issei, I pay tribute, I like the fight, but the victory is mine again. After that, I returned to the estate. Ravel and Razor's retinue were waiting for me there. Issei, he fought well. Okay, Ravel, it's time for us and I took a necklace out of my. This is for you. I am very glad that you appeared in my life. Ravel Phenex, I love you and I will always love you. From his words, tears of happiness appeared on Ravel's face. They hugged each other, and when their faces became close, they merged into a kiss. From this scene, Riser's peerage rejoiced for Ravel. After that, they moved home. Issei told Ddraig and Vergil about the events at Phenex Manor. Ddraig, ha ha ha. Well done, Issei. It looks like Phenex lost to the dragon again. Vergil smirk asterisk, keep it up. You fight and don't back down. I finished the fight with Vergil. I asked him several times to let me use his blade because I really like it, but I get rejected all the time. I finished training and went home. Time skip tomorrow. I was at the academy. After school, as usual, I was looking for a quiet place to listen to music. I lay down on the tree, put on my headphones, and turned on the songs. Soon as the song ended, I decided to take a nap. As I closed my eyes and got ready for bed, I felt someone standing nearby. I opened my eyes and saw Kiba. I got up and we started talking. Issei irritated, Kiba, what's the matter? Kiba, Issei, you are asked to come to the orc. Issei was angered that because of the spoiled princess, he could not be alone. Issei, tell her that she was going to hell. I've said many times that I'm not her pawn anymore. Kiba tried to take my hand, but I used a trick. I moved behind his back and knocked him out with one blow. Issei thought, I can't be alone. Okay, I'll visit the red-haired demon. Hopefully it will be worth my time. I went to the orc. Issei, angry, I hope it's worth it that you come. Before I had time to finish what I was saying, I noticed Azazel, Valerie, and he a team. Now I understand that Kiba was indeed telling the truth. Azazel, Issei, my boy, nice to see you. I called you because the Council of Devils accepted your terms. Your initiation into the new class will be in a week. Me, Ddraig, and Vergil also talked about the future. Ddraig decided that he would try to build a faction of dragons. Vergil will rebuild his house in Redgrave City. And by the way, the father of Norse wants to visit you. Issei shocked, oh Odin, well that's really good news. You don't know why he decided. Azazel, no I don't know. Okay, I'm back to Gregory. If you ask why Vali is here, he will tell you. Azazel disappeared through the magic circle. Vali, as Azazel said, I'm here because Kuroka and Lefay are constantly trying to get to you, but I managed to dissuade them. But now. The half-demon did not have time to finish the sentence, as Nekoshu and the mage wrapped around Issei's arms like pythons. Kuroka, after your recovery I was looking for you and wanted to be with you. And now I'm not going to leave you. Presses harder. Vali and Biko laughed at Issei's situation. At the same time, Arthur remained unfazed. Later, they're gone. Issei, so it looks like you are now living with me. Only please, don't be too perverted, especially you're a Kuroka. They moved back to Issei's house. They were met by Ravel. She understood that even if her future husband did not want a harem now, because of his new dragon nature, women will be attracted to him. Ravel, Issei, what do you have to say for yourself? Made an evil face. Issei, Ravel, it's not that simple. They helped me survive, and. Ravel only laughed at how much she scared him. Ravel, ha 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 ha. Calm down, I don't mind it. I realized that it was not your fault. But if the idea of a harem comes true, I'll be in charge, is that clear? Issei nodded. Ravel, great. By the way, Kuroka and Lefay, where are you going to sleep? Kuroka and Lefay looked at me with a smirk. Girls, we're going to sleep with Issei. At these words, Ravel was not surprised. She realized that she, Kuroka and Lefay were in love with this man. Time skip. Issei and his harem were lying in the same bed. From this, the boy had unpleasant memories, but he did not let them control his actions. Issei, okay, girls, good night to you. Ravel slash Kuroka slash Lefay. Good night, Issei, asterisk each kissed him on the cheek. Issei thought, I hope Ddraig and Vergil don't see it. I feel they will both be dissatisfied. Ddraig is more likely to be jealous because he doesn't have mates yet, and Vergil will kill me not only with a Yamato but also with a look. Time skip next morning. Issei, damn, turn off the sun. Today is Saturday, I want to rest. I tried to go back to sleep, but I couldn't. I got up, washed, dressed. I noticed that there was no one but Kuroka at home. Issei, I wonder where they are. I noticed a note lying on the table beside the bed. Issei, I went to the underworld on business. Riser liked the fight, but a little upset that I lost to you again. I'll probably be back tomorrow. Lefay went to Britain on the business of the Pendragon family. She said she would be home tomorrow as well. She also left you a nice gift. Love you, Ravel. Issei thought, I see. So it's just her and me. Okay, maybe I'll get to know her better. Issei, Kuroka, good morning, it's time to get up. I tried to wake her up, but it didn't work. I went downstairs and began to prepare breakfast. I started cooking meat. I finished preparing my breakfast and felt a familiar sensation behind me. I was right, it was Kuroka's chest. Kuroki, seductive. It smells delicious, I hope you left it for me, Naya. Issei giggles. Left, sit down, otherwise it will cool down. She sat down at the table and began to eat. You could see from her face that she was delighted with the food. Kuroka, joyful. Very tasty, thank you very much. I thought that only Arthur knew how to cook. We finished eating, and I decided to ask her questions. Issei, Kuroka, I'd like to ask you. I've been told you became a stray because you killed your master. I'd like to know why. Kuroka, asterisk psi asterisk I had to. He wanted to create a super devil using other creatures to experiment with. Cheyenne and I were next in line. I killed him to protect her. She starts to sobbing. She thinks I left her, but I acted in such a way that there was no target hanging on her. I saw her tears and decided to hug her. I whispered in her ear. Issei, it's okay. We will acquit you, I promise. And so it went on for several minutes. After she calmed down, she stood up. Kuroka, I'm sorry for that. You're wet now. Issei giggles, that's okay. Did you take notes or remember the places where the experiments were? I think if you show it to Surzets, it will justify you. Kuroka and I moved to the underworld, to the place where, as she says, the experiments were carried out. We found ourselves next to the manor where the experiments were. We entered the estate and noticed that it was abandoned. We turned over, one might say, the whole house, but so far we have not found anything. Then Kuroka found a secret passage. From what I saw, horror froze on my face. Now I understand why she killed him, it was a sick bastard. I saw the bodies of those who were used for experiments. I also found a notebook. Kuroka, well done, Issei, you found his notes. Issei, now let's contact Lucifer. I contacted Surzech through the magic circle. Surzech, Issei, what's the matter? Issei, good evening, Surzech. I contacted you about exonerating the Kuroka. I advise you come here and see everything. One more thing. Grab the packets, you may become vomit. Surzech, okay. I'll be with Serafal and Graphia soon. Issei, thank you. Turn to the Kuroka asterisk, okay, they'll be soon. Time skip. The Demon Kings have arrived at the place where we said. When they saw the experiments that Kuroki's master was doing, their faces were full of fear, disgust, and hatred for this devil. After that, I handed him a book with notes, Surzech said. Surzech, in connection with the evidence provided of violent experiments on the devils, I am Surzech Lucifer. Serafal, and I Serafal Leviathan. Surzech, we are canceling Kuroka's status as a stray devil. After that, I saw a table made of magic. They removed one cell from there. Then Surzech said again. Surzech, so Kuroka is no longer a stray devil. Time skip a week later. Ravel began to help me with important matters. She tries very hard, and we spend time together. Thanks to her, I can manage things better and more accurately. In other words, she began to help me as Graphia helps Surzets. LaFay also helps a lot. Thanks to her, I control magic more precisely. Her gift was very useful. This is a guide to magical weapons and their creation. Kuroka was very happy that I helped her with her problem. She began to go out into the world and visit her sister often, of course the first time I had to protect her, but it all ended pretty well. A pleasant reminder was Rhea's disgruntled face. Vergil and I sparred as usual. My sword is pretty good. Vergil sternly, focus. I deflected his blows. I used a sting, but it leaned. He teleported into the air and used a series of judgment cuts. I also used the teleporter to deflect and created some blue lights in my hand and threw it towards Verg. He dodged and appeared behind me and did an upper slash, leaving a scar on my chest and knocking me out. Vergil sighs, so victory is mine, poured water on him, get up, slapped several times. Issei woke up. Issei, stand up, your victory. Vergil nodded. Issei, okay then, let's have a rematch. And now I have to go to Ravel. I moved over to Ravel and noticed that an elderly man in wide clothes was sitting opposite her. A spear lay beside him. I understood who it was. Issei, good to see you, Lord Odin. Long time no see. One just laughed a little. Odin, ha ha ha. Yes, you're right, dragon. I helped you when you fought Astaroth. On that behalf I had a small outburst of anger and hatred. Diodora, a sick bastard who wanted Asia. It's good that he died. No one else, at least at his hands, will suffer. Issei, so, why did you want to meet? Odin, firstly, I apologize for what Loki did. I know it's in the past, but it's still my responsibility. And it was because of him that you and the Gremmers almost disappeared between the worlds. So I came to apologize, also bringing gifts. Issei, Lord Odin, I appreciate it, but that's in the past. As for the gifts, I'm flattered. 1. I know that a pretty good swordsman, and I think my gift will not be superfluous. 1 created a magic circle. A sword could be seen from it. The hilt was made of white wood. The guard was silver as a pommel, and near the beginning of the blade was a green. Odin, young Sparda, you know the myths about blades from my mythology, don't you? Issei, of course. Daneslave, Turfing, Graham. It's a pity that they are in the hands of the hero faction. The All-Father clapped, as he was pleased with the guy's knowledge of aspects of his mythology. 1 excellent knowledge. Yes, but there's another sword. It's Skafnung, the sword in which the souls of berserkers are enclosed within it, body guardians. They protect the owner of the blade. Issei was flattered and rejoiced, like a child who received a new toy. Issei, I thank you for this gift. I am honored at. I wanted to negotiate, but Odin interrupted me. Odin, I'm not done yet, kid. I want to give you not only weapons, but also. He used magic and put us on the ship. It was quite well equipped and was modern, but outwardly approached the 17th. 1. My second gift is this ship. It is hidden by magic, so people won't be able to find it. Issei could not rejoice. He could go wherever he wanted. No one can track it. Issei, Lord Odin, I don't know what to say. I thank you very much for these gifts. The All-Father had a smirk on his face. After this, he returned to Asgard. Time skip a couple of days. I was just on my ship in my ship. I can't stop being happy that I have a ship. I am now sitting with Ravel in my cabin. She was helping me with tests to ultimate class. I noticed that she isn't good. Issei, Ravel, you okay? Ravel, not really, just a little motion sickness. She covered her mouth with her hand and ran out onto the deck and began to vomit in the sea. Issei patted her on the shoulder. Issei, take it easy, it's all right. You just have to get used to it. After this unpleasant moment, we continued to prepare for the test. When we finished, Ravel asked me. Ravel, Issei, I'd like to ask, Did you think you and I would get married? I could see in her eyes the doubts that I loved her. Issei, what nonsense. Of course I was thinking about you getting married. Did you think you wanted this to happen? Ravel thought for a moment and replied, Ravel, I think I want to happen at home. Issei, on the territory of the Phenex clan. Okay, if that's what you want, then let it be so. From these words, Ravel had a smile on her face and a little blush. She knew that he loved her and would not leave her. I hugged her and we spent a few minutes like that. After that, we moved home and the ship was reduced to a model that I put on the shelf. When I pass the test, I will ask for territories with access to the sea or lake. I began to cook my own food and suddenly, I felt that someone was standing behind me and I was right. It was Kuroka. She used to be funny, but now she was serious. Issei, I haven't seen you serious. I suppose something important has happened. I started drinking the coffee I made asterisk. Kuroka, yes. The mating season is coming soon for necomats. Therefore, I warn you in advance that I may be more seductive and vulgar than usual. After these words, I spat coffee in shock. The mating season is coming soon not only for necomats, but also for dragons. Issei, okay, I'll keep it in mind. Issei thought, oh, I feel it will be that fun. After eating, I moved to Wales. This is where Ddraig began to live. I understood why he decided to come back. This is his home. I was near the entrance to the cave. I saw that there was a tall figure, a figure with red hair. He wore a red. I understood who it was. This is my partner, Ddraig. Issei, yao Ddraig, long time no see. He turned and I saw a smirk on his face. Ddraig, partner, nice to see you. We shook hands. He ran through his cave. To be honest, I turned a little green from his cave. We sat and drank a little. Issei, how is the faction doing? She's getting stronger. Ddraig, the faction is doing well, but it is still difficult to unite dragons. But after learning about you and your doings, they agreed. And now, although we are small, we are very strong faction. Issei, I am very happy for you, bro. We continued to drink, and when it would end, we both were passed out. But I woke up because I felt someone's energy. I came out of the cave from noticing a blue western dragon at the... I noticed that Ddraig was standing next to me, but what I didn't think to see, it's that he started cracking, out of fear. Mighty why Ddraig go is afraid of another dragon. Issei, what are you doing? Ddraig cracks, P-partner, this is Tiamat, cracks. Tiamat evil, Ddraig, you're not going away this time. Issei, Lady Tiamat, please stop. Let him explain himself. Tiamat, I advise you to stay away. I know that even though you are a demonic dragon, you are weak. These words made me angry. Issei, evil, don't you dare call me weak. Even Though you are the Dragon King, you will regret these words. Tiamat, come in. We took off the air. She began to blow out her famous flame, the flame of karma chaos. I was able to dodge him. I took out the hand of darkness and began to cut it. After a few strikes, she bled to death but stumbled. I flew to her at full speed but dodged, and she sent me flying with a blow. I fell to the ground, leaving the crater. She began to recharge her flames and shots. I dodged her attack and took out a Skafnung and plunged it into the ground. Green energy appeared, which began to take the form of 12. I used a sting, then a combo B along with another sword. After that, I used the drive. I didn't let her come to her senses, and I used a deep sting to finish off. This knocked out Tiamat. Time skip a couple of hours. A few hours passed and Tiamat woke up. She told me why she was pursuing Ddraig. He took her treasure and lost it during the battle with Albion. He was very sorry and we offered her a deal. We will return the treasures to her and she will join the faction. She agreed. I also asked them about the season. He laughed and Tiamat giggled. It made them laugh that I was a little afraid of it. Ddraig, partner, there's nothing wrong with that. The bad thing is that you will resist it. Tiamat, I agree with him. Strange sensation, it's a strange feeling that I agree with Ddraig. Ddraig offended, hey. Issei asterisk say okay, I'll keep it up. Race, a hybrid of a dragon and a demon. Title, Heir the Dark Slayer. Demonic dragon. The one who does the impossible. Age 17. Looks, combat, casual, weapons, Skafnung, Beowulf, Hand of Darkness. Skills, dragon scales. After Issei has become a dragon, he can manifest his own scales. Dragon senses, his senses became stronger. Devil trigger. This is the power Issei received when he absorbed DS'd. It strengthens it several times and gives a good healing factor. He have only pair of wings. Ultima Blade, inspired by FFXV, when Bahamut summoned his swords and began to shoot them. Dragon fear inspired by solo leveling. Issei lets out a loud roar filled with his power. This leaves the enemy in a state of frustration and despair, for he is incapable of resisting. The aura of the wisest, the aura of Issei. When after turning he activated it, it gives a strong boost to the intellect. It also helps to conquer the most difficult spells. Locked. It gives a semblance of a sixth sense. Harem. Ravel Lefay Kuroka. Maybe I add maybe not. Likes his harem, Ddraig, Vergil, games, manga, manhwa, weapon, dragon faction, his ship. Dislike Rias and her retinue, Ricevim, arrogant people when he is called weak. His ship, Rudemaru. Ddraig. Full name, why Ddraig go? Race pureblood dragon. Title, Red Heavenly Dragon. Dragon of Domination. Welsh dragon. Looks. Yep, I think he will look like Arden in his human form. Human. Dragon. Demonic energy affected the Ddraig and changed his dragon appearance. Abilities. Boost by 2 times your stats, but the payoff from it is stamina. Transfer of accumulated power through boost. Vergil. Race, hybrid of a human and a demon. Weapons. Mirage Edge. Likes reading, silence, his home in Redgrave, his family. Home, Sparda's mansion, Redgrave City. I'm enjoying the sea breeze while standing aboard my ship. I decided to name it Rudemaru, Heavenly Dragon. The feeling of this wind and the view of the sea is very soothing. But to be honest, I want to sleep, because causes it makes me sleepy. I went into the cabin and lay down on the bed and began to fall asleep, but the voice frightened me. You continue to surprise me, Red Dragon Emperor, although it would be better to call you something else. I got up and sat down on the bed. Turning my head, I saw a girl sitting in front of me. She had black hair, gray eyes, and sharp ears. She wears a black cloak and a purple doll hat. I understood who it was. Issei Ophis, first of all, don't sneak up on people. Secondly, why did you come to me? The office as usual, without an emotional response. Ophis, I know you shouldn't do that, but there's no denying the fact that you're an anomaly. So I suggest you, join me, you'll get what you want. Issei, and in return you want. Put his hand to his face, the head of the Great Red. Ophis, you need to understand that. Groaning, contact him, I'll solve your situation. I think maybe there's a way for you to get silence. The Ophis used its magic and created a seal underneath us that transported us. Dimensional. I've just been hovering in a pretty familiar place, the dimensional gap. Here I fought against other me who used Juggernaut Drive, created by Loki. Here for the first time I was able to use the power of the evil pieces to alter armor. In here, I remembered, me and Rias. We defeated the copy and were helped by the Great Red. As I came back from the stream of thoughts, I saw that a huge red western dragon with a horn on its muzzle flew out of the portal. This is the Great Red, the Dragon of Dreams. He flew up to us and we started. Great Red, Young hatchling, nice to see you. And by the way, cool title you choose, demonic dragon. Issei, thank you very much. Great Red, I wanted to contact you, 'cause I believe that I have solution of your problem with Ophis. Great Red, and what do you suggest? Issei, it's pretty simple. I've been told it's a place the size of infinity, so I suggest you share this place. In one part there will be Ophis, in the other the Great Red. But if it works, I can offer you Ophis to live with me. I think you'll like it. You'll get a lot of sweets. Both dragon gods had a rupture of consciousness. Ophis was definitely shocked. She didn't think about it. Time skip a couple of days. After I helped the Ophis, she began to visit me often and asked for a lot of sweets. Luckily for me, Ravel knows how to cook them, but I don't understand how it can eat so much. Although she is a dragon god and an infinity god, I answered my own question. I about to fall asleep, but the light from the open crack of the door shone into my eyes. I opened my eyes and saw Kruach in her kimono, only this time her face was redder. She walked over to the bed. Kuroka, seductive, Issei. She lay down on my bed and began to untie her kimono belt, and I closed my eyes. Issei thought, oh, I forgot about the mating season. Here I am. As she was finished, I saw her beautiful body, but still doubts can't get out of your head. Kuroka noticed my gaze. She took my face and held my cheeks in her hands. Kuroka, it's okay. You don't have to be afraid anymore. We don't want to hurt you. We want to be with you, sharing joy and sorrow. Her words finally calmed me down. I felt that finally, I'm not afraid. I gave her a warm smile and we began. Those moments were incredible. Passion and love were in the air. This night is incredible. Her amber eyes gave me the feeling that I was looking at a light that I had wanted to see for a long time. But she was happy too. She was with someone who did everything for her. He acquitted her, reunited her with the family, gave her the place she calls home. Now she wanted to help the one to whom she had given her heart. In his blue Issei eyes, she saw the happiness she wanted to share with him. Issei Pav. The next morning, I was lying in bed. I felt strange. Looks like Kuroka was really with me, and I giggled a little at that. I was about to get up, but she took my hand. Kuroka, playfully. Yawns, maybe it's better tonight, you'll get some rest. You're in the last days that you're sailing on that ship. Issei, it's not my fault that it's so cool when I travel on Rudemaru. The spirit is mesmerizing during this process, but still, I'll take a chance and try to leave. I stayed true to my word. Unbeknownst to Kuroki, I touched her forehead while casting a sleeping spell on her. Issei, smiling, sleep well my cat. I give her a kiss on. I dressed in a black coat, a gray t-shirt, black jeans and white sneakers. I finally decided to visit Vergil in his hometown. I think it's called Redgrave City. Redgrave City. I wrote a message. Issei, Ravel, dear, hello, I'm telling you I'm in Redgrave right now. I went to see Vergil. I moved to the place where the estate was supposed to be, but apparently something went wrong. I walked for probably an hour, but it was worth it. I can see the manor in front of me. Ignore the people in the photo, they're not there. Issei thought this is probably Sparda's manor. I understand why he chose this place. Remote, quiet, just in time to retire. I walked over and saw a familiar face, Vergil. And to be honest, he won't change his style. He wore a black cloak with a blue waistcoat and a handkerchief around his. Issei, joyful, hello Vergil. We haven't seen each other for a long time, to be honest, you did a great job. The manor looks great. Vergil just grinned, understanding. Vergil, the compliment is accepted, but it wouldn't have happened without you. You did a good job too. We went inside and started talking about the events of days gone by. He turned out to be a good listener. He also said that he was surprised at how the world had changed. He collected a huge library of poetry, science, and lot more. He was very addicted to reading. While we were talking, I heard an explosion. Outside. Vergil and I went outside and saw old friends, hero faction, Cow and his henchmen. Cow, here you are, the Red Dragon Emperor. I've been waiting for this moment. Pointed his spear at me. Let's finish our fight. I wanted to get out, but Vergil grabbed me by the shoulder. Vergil, Spearman is yours. Leave his henchmen to me. I need a warm-up. Issei just grinned. Issei, as you say, friend. I took out Hand of Darkness and Skafnung, and Vergil stood up, holding the Yamato in his hands. Used the trick and moved. Vergil fights Jean, Siegfried, Hercules, George. I started the fight with Cow. I easily dodged his spear attacks using Vergil's style. This only made Cow angrier even more. Cow stands still. He continued to attack with his spear and I dodged. He tried to attack by lengthening his spear, but I blocked the attack. By grabbing his one arm, I was able to hurt him. Note, Toji Issei Cow Gojo. I moved to the side and started talking. Issei, surrender to Cow. You can't win. Not then, not now. Cow irritated. Never, I won't give up. Balance breaker. Vergil Pav. I continued to beat the man with the spear's henchmen. They were bleeding, but it was clear that they would not give up. Vergil, foolishness, heroes, foolishness. You're throwing yourself into a long-lost fight. Surrender. Jorg, never. Jean, we will not give up. Humans have defeated the supernatural and will do so again. Hercules, we are the descendants of heroes and we will not retreat. Vergil *Psi, have it your way. Hero faction, balance breaker. Siegfried got some hands and he draw out all of his swords. Jorg took us to another dimension. Jean created an iron dragon. And Hercules launched rockets at me. I dodged, took out the Mirage Edge. Using the combo B, I was able to break his armor, and finished it off using overdrive. I took out the Mirage Edge and began to fight a swordsman. He's a good fighter, but he's a long way from me. Again, I took only the Yamato, used a rapid slash in the Rising Star combination, then an aerial Rave B and finished with aerial cleave. This left Siegfried lying down, unable to get up. Then, with the help of a dragon, I was attacked by a holy maiden. Jean, you're going to pay for it. Her dragon let out a breath of fire at me, but I dodged it. Moved to the girl, slashed upper, killing her. This caused the dragon to disappear, and I moved to the sorcerer. I finished him off with a combo C. I then shook the blood off the Yamato and wiped it with Siegfried's cloak. Vergil, wasting of my time. I sheathed my sword again. Issei Pav. Cow activated his balance smasher. Issei thought, he seems to have despaired. Next to Cow, 7 black spheres appeared. Cow wicked grin balance breaker. Longinus Chaquartina polar night. Prepare, Hyadu Is. I stood up and teleported to attack Cow, but suddenly he activated one of his orbs and my sword was destroyed. I teleported to the side. Cow Chukka Ratana. This orb destroys the enemy's weapons. Issei annoyed, hey, it was my favorite sword, equipped by Beowulf. Now you've definitely pissed me off. Thought I'm actually angry, but I'm trying to control. I hope it will be predictable after this. And he got caught. He used another orb, but now he teleported. He tried to attack, but I was able to catch his spear. After catching the spear, he used combo B on it along with dragon. He teleported back and used another sphere. But this time he created another orb to create a huge ball of energy and shot at me. I responded and created my wings and began to create a sphere. Issei, you're finished. Cow, I doubt. We shot these beams at each other, and after this came out a huge explosion which raised a huge amount of dust. When I lay down, I moved behind my back. I was able to knock him to the ground with a blow from Skafnung. I held my sword to his throat. Issei, give up. Cow, I give up. He collapsed from exhaustion, and I continued to stand on my feet. I contacted Azazel and told him about it. He came and took him into custody, and I went back to Vergil. Issei, I see you're having fun too. I see bodies. Are they alive? Vergil, no. Issei, okay, that's to be expected. After this conversation, I went to mine and was met with very unpleasant looks and a very serious conversation. Ravel was very angry with me. Kuroka was also angry because I put a spell on her. After I defeated Cao, I went back to myself. Issei, phew, it's a good thing they didn't notice me. Haven't you noticed? You've made a big mistake and you've upset me a lot. I turned around and saw Ravel and Kuroka, who were mad at me. Kuroka, putting me under a spell was very frustrating, and I wanted to lie a little with you. Issei, I'm sorry, I told you I'd try my chances. Smirk asterisk, but I tried. As I finished, Kuroka began to tug at my cheek. Issei, okay, I'm sorry, please, Kuroka grinned. Kuroka, okay, but you're going to have to. Issei alarmed, and what? Kuroka whispered in her ear. As she finished, Issei turned very pale and began to shake as if he could see his fear in the flesh. Ravel was concerned and decided to ask. Ravel, Issei, what did she whisper? Issei shocked, I don't want to talk about this to Ravel, never. Time skip night. I was lying in bed listening to music. In all this time, I've become addicted to rock. But I can't stop listening to music from TV shows and games. I found one song that I can't stop listening to, but I don't remember where it came from. I need to find out later and maybe watch this series where come from. Damn, beginning of song of sometimes make my a little sad, and that part where two voice are sings. This is beautiful. Note, well, as you noticed, yes, I'm a fan of RWBY, and I guess I'll try to continue my other book related to this universe. Ruby, my waifu. As I wanted to close my eyes, the light pierced my eyes. I spotted Ravel. Issei, Ravel, if you want to sleep next to me, I'm fine with it. You've done a lot for me, and you know that I love you. Ravel is a little still shy because the issue is very delicate. She lay down next to me. Still, she dared to ask. Ravel, Issei, it's true that you and Kruach did that. That personal question made his face turn. Red and memories flashed before his eyes. Issei, I'm so sorry, Ravel, but it's true. Circumstances just forced it. Ravel, angry, pouts, I'll forgive you if you give the same attitude as Kruach. Issei, my Phenex, I'll do it. Began to whisper maybe even better. Ravel's face blushed and she smiled. Ravel seductively, maybe we can start then. Issei smirk, as you wish, my love. After that they started making out. Issei can be said to have given Ravel a pleasure that she will never forget. At the same time, Ravel rejoiced at this time. She is together with the one she loves. It was also an unforgettable night for Ravel. She was completely enjoying and satisfied. Time skip a couple of days. Kyoto Academy. Today was Friday. The weekend was approaching. I'm thinking about going to Kyoto. If I can do it, hopefully I can be with Kuno. She's like a cheerful little sister. Lessons are already over. I sat under a tree as usual and watched what was happening. With a smirk and a laugh, I watched as the perverted duo was chased by the kendo club. To my surprise, I heard an explosion coming from the school building. Issei, angry, Ravel. I started running to the academy. I ran to the academy building and saw the demons. Issei, annoyed, of course. You got the Skafnung out, my way. Demon frightened all the squad. We found a dragon, take care of it. Issei, wicked grin, ha 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 ha, well, you can try. Issei began to kill the demon. The demon could only see the blood flowing and the fear appearing on their faces. He was ruthless. He summoned berserker blades and they increased the range of his. Issei used all of his arsenal of techniques and skills, gained from his training and fights. He rained his blades at his enemies and finished off the Issei Ultime blade. Issei took one of them and began to interrogate him. Issei, evil, why you came here? Demon, coughing blood. We cough cough for cough have vampire. Issei realization Valerie, they're because of her. Issei summoned a magic circle. Issei, everyone, I found out why they were. They're for Valerie, they're here because of the Holy Grail. Azazel, okay, I have plan. Issei and Rhea's peerage will protect Valerie. Ravel and I will contact the factions. Citri's group will find the victims and take care of them. Is everything clear to everyone? Everyone got it. Issei, hey Ravel, be careful, we still have to have a wedding. Ravel giggles, I'll be okay with myself, dear. Everyone what? Issei and Ravel are GTTNG married. Issei irritated, ow, shut up. Azazel Pav. I found Ravel, and we got in touch with Serzech and Michael. Michael, my brother, what's the matter? Azazel, it's bad, Kyoto was attacked. Serzech, understood, I'm sending devils to help you. Michael, angels will also arrive. Are there any wounded? Azazel, maybe. They are handled by Citri. I think holy magic will definitely help them. Serzech, what's with Issei and Rhea's? Where are they? Azazel, they're protecting Valerie. The Chaos Brigade came for her. Looks like this old man is making his move. Serzech, then I'll come here. If Rizvim is here, then he's here too. Azazel, okay, just hurry. Sonapav. My team and I were able to find help for a few people, but there is still one inside. The academy began to burn. Sona, Tsubaki, contact with the Rhea's team. Tell me we could find as much as we could. But when she finishes speaking, she sees Saji carrying 2 girls. Saji, you'll be fine. Sona, there are still 3 people left. I think you should use water magic. Sona, good, I created a water dragon and sent it to the academy. Excellent. Saji, Tomo, and Tsubasa. Go inside and find the rest. Sona's peerage, Gotitsona. Sona, thoughts, I hope everything will work out. Rhea's Pav. We are in the Orc. Gasper and Valerie are with us. And to my delight, Issei. But still, I was upset that he and Ravel were already there. They are thinking about the wedding, although they have been together for more than a few months. Aquino, Rhea's, don't go into thoughts. We are needed here. Issei, can I talk to you? Issei, what's the matter? The conversation was interrupted by the noise. The window was broken, and I saw a man with white hair and a pretty well-dressed man. Why did I know this? And I'm glad to see you, Rhea's Gremory and her team. Issei Sparda, I'll be honest, you're an amazing creature. Issei, finish. We know you've come for Valerie. And not in any manners. What generation is now? Had a hand in the face asterisk, well, then I'll take young Valerie myself. Gasper, only through my corpse. Gasper flew towards the unknown and began to attack him. Issei's training paid off. He became good at hand-to-hand combat. I'll be honest, you're pretty good at asterisk, teleported and stabbed Gasper's chest, but not enough. And Gasper fell to the ground and lost consciousness. Orc and Valerie, Gasper. Issei Pav. Issei, well, that's it. The GAMES are over. Issei used his wings and flew in front of the man. Issei, who are you? Euclid, oh yes. I spoke about manners but did not introduce himself. My name is Euclid Lucifuge. You probably know about my sister Graphia. Issei took out a scallon, so he is a holy sword and the damage will be stronger. They began to fight. During this time, Issei became an incredible swordsman. Only Sparda and his sons can make him a master of the blade. He easily deflected Euclid's spells and inflicted precise cuts and wounds on him. This made the younger Lucifug angrier and more predictable. Euclid, enough GAMES. It's time to end you. He pulled out a gauntlet that looked like a boosted gear. Let's see which is stronger, replica or your own power, balance breaker. A flash of gray light appeared. When she lay down, Euclid was wearing armor similar to that of a Ddraig, and the wings resembled Vali's sacred. Euclid, shall we continue? I went into the devil's trigger. Issei, come on, imposter. I got Beowulf and he began to attack. I didn't give Euclid a chance to come to his senses and come to his. A starfall, I knocked him to the ground. He couldn't come to his senses yet. I took a scalon and started charging the attack and unleashed 2/. They finished off Lucifuge. I decided to do to him what he had done to Gasper, and I had pierced his chest with a scalon. Issei exhausted, its sigh, over. He fell to his knees, Issei fainted. By the time the battle was over, the faction alliance won. The only victims were the Chaos Brigade, Euclid Lucifuge. Wales, the place where the legendary dragon now lives, Ddraig Gok, the one and only, the Welsh dragon, also known as the Heavenly Dragon, but mostly known as Red Dragon Emperor. And for his nightmares because of Issei, they call him Boob Dragon Emperor. Right, he sits in his office and busy with paperwork. Ddraig damn, who knew that being a faction leader was. Now I understand Surzech and Azazel. Paperwork is a nightmare. Okay, there's not much left. It's a good thing I have a help. I should have contacted him. I used the magic circle to communicate. Ddraig, Tannen, good afternoon. I wanted to ask how the dragons are doing in the underworld. Tannen, good afternoon, Ddraig. They're doing well. After you started creating the faction, many dragons see you as a hero and leader. Ddraig, and one more thing. Thank you very much for helping with this paperwork. I appreciate it. Do the dragons need something else? And then there's Tannen. I'll be gone for a couple of days. That's why you're in charge for now. Tannen, I see. I'll keep an eye on your peace in your absence, and if it's not difficult where you're heading. Ddraig, thank you, and I'm going to one of my caves. It turned out that I had the last of Tiamat's treasures left. I'll give it to her and she'll definitely stay in the faction. And maybe I can make peace with her. And I think it's time for me to upgrade my armory. I moved to the entrance of my cave. I put my hand to the gate and began to use my magic to open. This is Ddraig's magic circle, and the ring is red, and the dragon's head is green. In Ddraig's cave. I should clean up the mess after that. 2,000 years of absence and can't figure out where to find the thing in my cave. Well done, Ddraig. Even Issei could find his collection, and there's one thing I can't find. Ddraig, damn it, where is that? Luckily, hours later, I found what she was giving me. Ddraig, hey, I found out that it was the same. How did she get it? That's Yamato's shard. Vergil said that when he was defeated by the Mundus, his sword was broken into pieces. Most were found by the Order of the Sword, but apparently not all of them. I'll ask Tia how she got it. But first, I'll enjoy my moment. I put the shard in my pocket. I took one of the books from my library and flew to one place to read. I've flown to a remote place. The moon was high, which meant that peace had come to me. Ddraig, all these centuries of battle, imprisonment, slavery, is over. I am. Ddraig, Issei, thank you. Thank you for this gift. I'm happy to have you as my partner. No, you and I are more than partners now. We are brothers. My thoughts were interrupted by the sensation of a familiar aura. Ddraig, I was wondering how long to wait for you. Tiamat. She was in the form of a dragon. Tiamat, I didn't think you'd keep your word. Ddraig, I expected you to hide from me as usual. Ddraig, I took out the shard and held out my hand. Tia, tell me, how did you find it? Tiamat, and why do I have to tell you? Ddraig, this is a shard from Vergil's blade. He and I are Issei's partners. Tiamat, oh well, I once flew over the ground. I felt strong and cold aura. I went to the place where she came from and found this shard. Ddraig, Tiamat, please let me keep it. I know you're angry with me for taking it away again. But understand, I don't want it for myself but for Issei's sake. I want to make him a weapon worthy of his feats." Tiamat was surprised. She had seen Ddraig as a battle maniac who wanted to fight Albion, but after his return he changed. He wanted to unite the dragons. He wants to help his partner. She realized how powerful Issei was. He's as determined as a dragon. He used his power for peace. "Tiamat, Ddraig, you've really changed. I'm surprised. You can have a shard. As for joining the faction, I agree." Time skip, few days later after Chapter 12, before the events of Chapter 13. I heard about the battle between Issei and Cao Cao. To say I'm not surprised is an understatement. I'm encouraged that my brother is getting stronger. He defeated the owner of the strongest Longinus. But also, I've heard that he broke one of his swords. Ddraig thought, looks like found a use for it *, retrieved Yamato's shard, and contacted Azazel. After I contacted him, I came to him and explained what I was going to do. "Azazel, let me ask you again. You want to forge a new sword for Issei using a Yamato shard, part of his old sword, and temper it in your fire." Ddraig in katana form. When I think back to the fights between Issei and Vergil, Issei constantly asked him to give him Yamato. We started working. It was very tiring. It was worth it. Thanks to that shard, the sword has the ability to cut everything, including space. The blade is black with a pattern at the handle. The handle was well made. Time skip 2 days later. I was in my house reading my library. I still can't believe that I passed the ultimate class devil test. I was allocated an area next to the territory of where dragon apples grow. Also, in the human world, I was given territory to my surprise. It's the shores of England. I finished reading the book and put it. Issei thought, okay. It seems with the help of demonic power, I can take power from others, and I know whose I'm going to take it from. I was distracted from my thoughts by the noise of the doors. I turned in that direction and saw Ravel. "Issei, Ravel, what's wrong?" "Ravel, no, nothing. I just came to congratulate you on your promotion." "Well done, dear. By the way, what about the wedding?" "Issei, we decided about the location. I want to call Ddraig, Vergil, and many of our friends." "Ravel, I don't mind. But what if Rias and others break?" Issei just laughed a little bit. Memories of how he himself ruined one wedding. "Issei, don't worry. If they ruin your special day, he'll pay * kissed forehead. I think you should go get ready." Ravel, okay, Issei. Kuroka and Lefei want to talk about their weddings. Issei felt goosebumps down his spine at the words. Issei, okay dear, I'll remember. I thought about taking another book, but one maid came to see me. Maid, Lord Sparda, you've had visitors. Issei, and who are they? Maid, why Ddraig go, Vergil Sparda, Dragon King Tiamat, Governor General Azazel. Issei was shocked by this. His partners came to see him, even those with whom he have recently fought. Issei joyful, let them in, and tell them I'm coming. Time skip hall. I went down to the hall. They were waiting for me there. Ddraig, partner, it's been a while since we've seen each other, held out his hand. Congratulations on being promoted to ultimate class devil. Issei, glad to see you, Ddraig. Shook hands and hugged. Vergil, how are you doing? How is the manor? Was it unharmed? Shook hands. Vergil, the manor is fine. My praise is that you have become a ultimate class devil. When I looked a little to the side and saw a figure with blue hair, I suppose it's Tiamat in human form. Issei, glad to see Lady Tiamat. How are you after our battle? Tiamat, yes, the fight was good. It took me a while, but I feel fine. By the way, now I'm part of the faction. Issei, what, already? To the table. You're probably hungry. I'm definitely after the library. Vergil, I don't mind, but I'd like to fight you first. Issei smirks, okay, someone else. Ddraig raised his hand. Ddraig, well, it's time for me to warm up. I'm tired of sitting at papers. Azazel just nodded in support of Ddraig's position. He doesn't like paperwork either. That made Tiamat giggle. Time skip arena. Vergil and I entered the arena. He took out the Yamato and I took out the Skafnung. Issei, okay, let's get started. Note I thought would be perfect. I'm used million stabs and Vergil parried using a combo C after deflecting attacks. He started attacking using combo B. I deflected the first 2 hits and dodged the last. Vergil used a rapid slash, at the same time launching my spectacled swords. I used the trick in. After that I activated the Skafnung ability. The green swords surrounded me. Berserker blades destroyed Vergil's swords. Now it's my turn to attack. Issei, well, let's try. I surrendered to the blade and began to strike blow after blow, pressuring Verg. Then I performed the stinger. I took out the Mirage Edge and used the drive. I also used the drive. Both slash attacks collided, destroying each other. It's a bit of a stunned Vergil. I equipped Beowulf and began hand-to-hand combat, but he easily dodged my blows. I used a trick and teleported behind Vergil's back. I began to create blades and form a semblance of a phalanx. Vergil launched an attack using multiple judgment cuts, but I dodged all of them. I finally formed the blades and started firing at Vergil. He dodged them and focused on them. And I used that. I used the trick. I switch on Skafnung and used the drive. This caused Vergil to fall to his knees. Issei, heavy breathing, victory is mine, phew. Vergil just grinned. Vergil, heavy breathing, for now it's yours. Next time I'll win. He stood up and sheathed his sword. After that, Vergil left, and Ddraig entered the battle. Issei, Ddraig, give me timeout. Ddraig, okay, how much? Issei, about 10 minutes and I'll be ready to start. Ddraig, okay, partner. Time skip 10 minutes. I feel better, and I can see that Ddraig is looking forward to the fight. I understand him. When you used to do nothing but fight your rival, then be trapped in gauntlet for many centuries, and now you're free and you'll finally stretch your legs. Ddraig, ready, partner. Issei, of course, let's start. I rushed to Ddraig and we started hand-to-hand combat. Ddraig was inferior to me in terms of combat skills, but superior in strength. He is one of 2 heavenly dragons. He glows a little green, which means he used to boost. I hit him, but with one blow he threw me back at wall. Thought, okay, it's time to take battle to a new level. I equipped Beowulf and balanced the battle. Ddraig flew into the air and began to breathe fire that began to cover the entire arena, but I was able to dodge. Issei, wow, now I understand why they're so afraid of you. You're incredible, Ddraig, but it's time for us too. Ddraig, agreed, partner, let's finish the fight. Suddenly, his hands began to resemble his dragon claws. They started to glow red, so he used flame is also for strengthening. Issei thought, fire fist, smirk asterisk. Issei, come on. I took a stance and began to charge Beowulf for the dragon breaker. Ddraig also took a stance and began to charge his arms more strongly with his fire. This turned the flames bloody red, and using boost for power up. Vergil Pav. He really got stronger after that attack on his school. Azazel, Vergil, tell me, through what kind of training he go through that he challenged Ddraig? Vergil, might controls everything. Without it you can't protect anyone, let alone yourself. Tiamat laughs. Ddraig is finally going to get punched in the face. The day was definitely a success. This made the fallen angel laugh, a little nervously. Azazel, and by the way, Vergil, is it true that Issei kept asking for your sword? Vergil, yes, Azazel, what your point? Azazel, it's just that one day Ddraig came to me and asked me to create a new sword for Issei. Unexpectedly, Ddraig was able to get shard of your sword. These words shocked me. Vergil, impossible. How he was able to get Yamato's shard? Tiamat, well, that's thanks to me. But he said it was for this boy, and I see that he is worthy of it. Vergil, I see, and you made a blade. Azazel, yeah, it's katana. I think you gonna love it. Back to the battle of the dragons. The energy was sparkling around us, and Ddraig rushed at me. With the help of his boosts, his fire, he gave me a pretty hard blow to the jaw, but I didn't stay in debt either. I used a dragon breaker on it. Beowulf's light force tore through the dragon's scales, and the blow threw it into the air. MV was both knocked out. Time skip a few hours later. Issei, oh, my jaw. Ddraig woken up sleepy-head. Unlike you, I woke up a long time ago. I'm glad we had a fight. I even used another of my abilities to enhance it. Penetrate. It penetrates any shield field. It looks like you really are one of the best hand-to-hand fighters. Issei, huh? I feel a little pity to Vali and Albion. It's going to be hard against you. We were both lying in the hall. To the came the Azazel up. Azazel, oh, you both wake up. Good. Leaders convene a meeting. There are representatives of heaven, fallen, devils, and Shinto. I advise you to get ready. Time skip faction meeting. Me, Ddraig, Vergil, Rias, and her peerage. The same goes for Sona and her team. Vali, his team. Surzets, the latest attacks by the Chaos Brigade were a serious cause for thought. If they're united, then we must create a team to counter terrorists. Odin, I agree. Then who will be the leader, and what will it be called? Azazel, whatever we are called, there is still the question of the leader. Who will be them? Michael, let me suggest an option, the Joker of Heavens, Dulio. Azazel, that kid. Yes, it will do, but we will also need those who will lead. Yasaka, I suggest the first son Wukong. Ddraig, I also suggest Issei. Azazel, that old man will be perfect. I think it will also help the youth to become stronger. Seraphal, then the devils will provide resources and knowledge. Michael, the angels will provide knowledge and archives. Azazel, the fallen will provide their research. Ddraig, dragons will also help. Yasaka, Yake will also provide assistance. Odin, like the others, my faction also offers help. Michael, if the Chaos Brigade wants to unleash the beast, they can't do it. They don't have a spear, they don't have a grail. Azazel, I agree, but we can't relax just yet. Odin, oh, what about the name of the organization? Surzets, we'll talk about the name next time. A few days have passed since the meeting. I was now on the deck of Ryutemaru, looking out to sea. I put on my headphones and started listening to music and remembering everything that had happened to me. From rebirth to a gathering of leaders. I was the biggest pervert whose perversity can be compared to the toad sage from Naruto. Then I died at the hands of Rainier. Issei smirk. Ha, that bitch dug her own grave by killing me, but put his hand to his heart, she hurt for sure, but now it's no more than a memory. Falling in love hurts, but true love heals. I thought about my life before I was reborn as a dragon. I laughed at my own obsession with breasts, but I smiled at the thought of how many good friends, teachers, and family I had found during that time. That made me smile, and a tear went down my cheek. But my reflection was interrupted by a bright crimson light. I looked and saw the magic circle and got angry. Issei, angry, Gremory, I hope that's not. Before I could finish speaking, I saw something that almost drove me out looking for myself, Rias and her peerage. Issei, I'll be honest, you have a guts for coming to me, even though I said I would never love you or your peerage. Gremory walked toward Issei, tears in her eyes. It was as if she wanted to finally be with someone special to her. Aquino and the other girls were also in tears and wanted to be with him. Rias, Issei, please give us another chance. I can't live without you. You will. You're what I've been dreaming about. I finally fell in love with someone. Issei coldly. If you love me, you will find someone else to love. And for you points to Aquino, Asia, Kaneko and Zenobia, you have to accept the truth by the bitterest variety. Aquino tears, please, please. You're someone I can be myself with. You help me accept myself, remember. You help me reconcile with my father. Zenobia, I know I was stupid and obsessed to have your child, but I realized that I wanted to be with you because I love you, please be with us. Asia, please Issei, I begging you, please be with me, with Ria's, with all of O's. Kaneko just remained silent and crying. At these words, my rage began to burn stronger that my demon horns appeared and eyes began to glow. Their faces were filled with horror and sadness. Issei, enough. I was a fool to fall in love. I hate him why old habits, but I've accepted that idiocy. I'm a different person now, and you leave me alone. But if you piss me off again, the consequences will be severe. I used one of my spells and sent them to a random location. Issei, they're stubborn, even death can't stop them, to make me fall in love to them or they have trouble with head to realize their failure, that's pretty much already. I need to call LeFay. I used the magic circle to communicate. But I couldn't get in touch with her. Something is getting in the way of communicating with her. Then I noticed a small flash. It formed a piece of paper and flew into my hands. I read it and understood who it was from. Issei, looks like there's change in plans. Maybe I should visit Kyoto. I think Kanu will be glad to see me, as well as the lady Yasaka. I decided, from now on I will spend my vacation in Kyoto. Time skip Kyoto. I've arrived in the city. It's a good thing that after I closed the show, I had money left. I arrived at the port and shrunk the ship and put it away in the pocket dimension. Issei, damn, it's a good thing I did that pocket dimension. Always have it with you. Smirk asterisk. I went to the city. There I found the hotel where I had been of the school trip. I was recognized inside. I said I needed one room for a couple of days. I paid for the room. I walked into the room and began to unfold. Issei, so, the first is to tell Yasaka that I'm in town. Secondly, have fun with Kanu. Thirdly, to finally get a rest. With that, I fell on the bed and fell asleep. Tomorrow. I woke up, took a shower, put on a black jacket, a white t-shirt, black shoes. I created a magic circle and contacted Issei. Hello, Lady Yasaka, it's me, Issei. Yasaka, oh, Issei, glad to hear from you. What are you calling about? She said the last sentence in a slightly seductive tone. Issei, I'm calling to say I'm on vacation here in Kyoto. I was thinking of visiting you and Kano. Yasaka, ooh, we look forward to seeing you. Kanu will be very glad that her brother has come to visit her when you come in. Issei, today probably. Yasaka, okay, I'll tell her you're coming. I went for a walk around the city. I visited the places where I fought the Chaos Brigade during my last visit to Kyoto. I had already finished exploring the city and its surroundings and headed for the temple. I went to a deserted place and used the magic circle to get to the other side of Kyoto. I went out to the temple and saw Kanu running at me with a smile and stars in her eyes. Kanu, Issei, she ran and hugged. Issei, I'm glad to see you too, Kanu. How are you doing? How's your mom? You know, you can ask me personally. I turned my head and saw Yasaka standing there, giggling a little at the hug scene. Kanu and I finished the embrace. I turned to Yasaka and bowed. Issei, Lady Yasaka, it's good to see you. Yasaka chuckles, silly, you don't have to bow, you saved me and more. You saved Kyoto from destruction. Issei, but still, just as a sign of respect. We entered the palace and we talked. Yasaka said that so far they have not been attacked by the Chaos Brigade faction. I was glad about it because the brigade has been very active lately. I told Surzets and Azazel to keep their eyes on Valerie. Also, they kept an eye on Cao Cao. The Chaos Brigade needs 3 things to free the beast. The Holy, True Longinus, a spear that and the fruit of the gardens of Eden. But that's not what we're talking about now. It was only a few days ago that I fought the brother of Agraphia. Issei thought, I wonder if replica of the booster gear left to factions. Ha 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 ha, I think like Azazel. Well, I understand him. I too would have had my head boiling with anticipation of the creation. I was taken out of my thoughts by the fact that the shaking Kanu. Issei, Kanu, is something wrong. Kanu, Issei, let's go and play with my friends. She made cute eyes. This is also complemented by fox ears. I can't resist that, too cute. Issei, okay. She started running and took my hand. We ran outside, and Kanu dragged me into the city. Time skip evening. I went back to the hotel. I don't know why children have so much energy. I can't imagine what will happen to me when I have a baby, but that's not what we're talking about now. But still, it was a lot of fun to play with her and her friends, and for some reason the Yasaka asked me to come to her place tomorrow. Who knows? I turned on the music and listened until I fell asleep. Time skip morning. I got out of bed and went to brush my teeth. Issei thought, I wonder how Lefay is doing. Surprise. I've just jumped back a little bit and done a toothbrush. I turned around and saw Lefay. Issei thought, speak of the devil and he will appear. Issei, Lefay, what are you doing? Lefay, you know it was hard not to scare you. You looked so peaceful. Issei, oh, you've offended me, Lefay-chan. She made one of her tools cute eyes. Issei, okay, I'm forgiving you, but these couple of days you're with me. Lefay, okay, she smiles. That smile made me feel good. I dressed in yesterday's clothes, and I went to Yasaka. Lefay, Issei, why are we going to the nine-tailed fox? Issei, my little witch, it's all right. She said herself that she wanted to see me. We went to see in the palace. I was surprised that there was. Arena, how dare she come to me? Even though she didn't do anything wrong, she still didn't stand up for me that day. I could see that her eyes were red. Apparently she was crying almost constantly because of what had happened. There was also a blonde woman with her. She looks like she's 20. She had a good figure. Her eyes were the blue. Glad to see you, Hyodo Issei. Issei, annoyed enough. Excuse me for that. I'm not going to be called by that name anymore. Now my new name is Heir of Sparda. I didn't mean to offend you. It's all right, child. I am Gabriel, one of the seraphim in heaven. Hugs Arena asterisk, I think you remember Arena. Issei coldly, it's been a long time since Arena. How are you doing? Arena sad, thank you for asking, I'm fine, but please can we talk later? Issei sigh, also cold. Okay, I don't mind talking. To Gabriel asterisk, so what do you owe if one of the four seraphim wants to meet? Gabriel, I wanted to meet because it's about boosting gear. It has disappeared from the list of longans, and we see that Ddraig is free again. Issei, that's why you wanted to talk to me. Sigh, okay, I'll tell you how I did it. As you know, I've suffered because of dragon fall diseases that kills dragon, so the Ddraig decided to turn me into a dragon. After that, I wandered for a time and found Yamato, one of the blades that Sparda created. This blade had the ability to cut through anything and separate demon from human. After my long adventures, I thought, and Vergil told me, about a time when he separated himself into demon and human. That's why I thought, maybe this will work out of the gauntlet, so it was very painful, very risky that I'm going to die. But it worked. Now Ddraig is free from boosted gear. Is that all you wanted to ask? Gabriel, yes, good luck to you, Issei Sparda. May God be with you. Issei, good luck to you too, Lady Gabriel. She has moved back to heaven and my gaze is on Arena. She began to cry a little. And I looked at her with an icy stare. Issei cold, so let me guess. Do you want me to forgive you and be with you? Arena, crying, yes, please forgive me, I'm sorry. Yes, I did a terrible thing. I wanted to catch up with you, but I couldn't stand it anymore and began to release the aura. Issei, annoyed, but what stopped you? At least you know what you've done. My heart was literally killing me. And you just sat there while I were on the edge of life and death. But I calmed down a little. Issei, I forgive you cause you don't know about my fear, but I won't love. And if you hurt Ravel Kuroka, I will personally send you to purgatory. After these words, Arena tried to come up and hug me, but he put out his hand and kept it at a distance. She collapsed and continued to cry a little. Issei, please, leave me. After that, I teleported her with a spell to the queue. Issei, Lady Yasaka, I'm sorry you had to see this whole scene. It's okay, it's normal to move after this, and it's okay that you want peace. Just don't forget about me, Kano. I laughed a little. Issei, ha ha ha. I won't forget Kanu nor you. Thank you for your hospitality, Ready Lefay. I got a nod from her, and we headed into town. First we went to the city and started walking. We were at the bookstore as I wanted to borrow at my leisure. We also went to a restaurant and ate there. We struck up a conversation. Issei, Lefay, I want to ask why I couldn't have before you before the call. Lefay, oh, we were on a mission from Azazel. By the way, we met with the /dog team. They send their regards to you. Issei, when you see it, tell Tobio and Lavinia, thank you for your help. Without Lavinia, I wouldn't have been able to learn magic well. I could say the same about Tobio's fencing lessons. Although I will say that it will probably take Vergil 10 seconds to defeat Tobio. Lefay, and by the way, I wanted to ask if it's true that you used Yamato. I read about the blade in one of the grimoires and demons. There was also the legend of Sparda. Issei, yes, I loved this blade very much. Now I understand why Verg holds it like the apple of his eye. The blade is light and comfortable for the hand, but to fight well with a blade, I had to learn I had to learn Vergil's style. Lefay, why? Issei, his Dark Slayer style relies on precise attacks and teleportation. It was quite difficult to learn, but I did it. And you've heard about the attack on Kyoto. Lefay, yes, I've heard. I'm glad you're okay. Issei, thank you. Okay, let's go. We still need to go through some places. And we kept walking around Kyoto. The city is really beautiful, so to speak. The date went well, but I need to think about the wedding. Oh, and I feel like she's going to be fun. Today is the day that will change my life in a new direction. Today I'm marrying a woman who really loved me, not because of strength or my nature. She loved the kind of person I was. She accepted my weaknesses and failures. She helped me get back on my feet. And in turn, I helped her. She is one of my most precious treasures. Today is my wedding day to Ravel. Third person Pav. Everything was in the territory of the Phenex clan. All my best friends, mentors, and relatives gathered. Lord Phenex, who would have thought that the boy who ruined one of our weddings will marry my daughter, ha 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 ha. Azazel, ha 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 ha, and don't tell me I thought the guy was going to have a cheesy wedding, but apparently he has changed. But it doesn't matter, he's like a son to me, so is Valerie. Odin, really Azazel. I was thinking of taking him to the Stry. Before he could finish, he was hit on the head by Grafia. Grafia, no one is going to send Issei down the old path. God it. Surzets, honey, calm down. I think he and Az understood you nervous laughter. Odin and Azazel hugged each other, fearing the wrath of the strongest queen. The feeling that they would both be frozen and castrated flashed between him. They silently thanked Surzets for saving them. Odin, by the way, Azazel, do you mind if I take Volley Boy under my wing? This fighting maniac deserves a good family. Azazel, I don't mind, but I'll ask Volley about it. Valley Pav. I have an unpleasant feeling of coldness down my spine. Volley, why do I feel like I'm in for a nightmare? Albion, I don't know, partner, and it's still a good thing that Ddraig is free. Now I can try to convince Issei to free me, or at least how he was able to set Ddraig free. Volley, are you sure you want to? Albion, are you joking? Of course I want freedom. But still, I feel like you've become my best host. Vali smiled imperceptibly. Rosway's Pav. Azazel gave me a teleporter flyer. I'm sorry about what happened to Issei, but I think it's their own fault. Even though I wasn't there at the right time, I still want to be with him. Maybe not as a girl, but still as a friend. At the last sentence, I started crying. I was able to pull myself together. I've been trying to find Issei, but apparently he's where I can't go. Issei Pav. I was with Ddraig and Vergil. Ddraig, partner, don't worry, this day is yours. You deserve it. A hero of the supernatural world. The one who commits. Impossible, afraid to get married. Come on, Issei. Vergil, I agree with him. Gather yourself, Issei, you are son of Sparda, you are not afraid of love. For example, my father, love helped him to understand the charm of people and the strength of the heart. So, men up, walk with your head high. Issei, exhale, yes, you're right, guys. Well, let's go. Ddraig, now it's the Issei, I know, asterisk laughter, keep it up. Vergil just nodded. I was wearing a black jacket, a purple vest, a black tie, a black rose on a jacket, black pants and black. There are no chains on the jacket, the pants are black. Vergil didn't worry too much about his clothes. His costume resembled his old blue and gold. He doesn't have tattoos. Ddraig wore his usual red outfit. We went out and went to meet the guests. I'm a little nervous. Azazel asterisk whistle, kid, to be honest, you definitely have your own style. Odin, agree with Az. This outfit will attract women to you. The same goes for you, Vergil. Issei scratches the back of his head asterisk, thank you, Lord Odin sensei. Nice to see you. Thank you for accepting the invitation. Surzed's Issei stretched out his hand. Issei, bro, shook hands and hugged, glad to see you. Surzets, I couldn't miss my little brother's wedding. That would be a shame for me. Grafia hugged me, then she relays me from hug. I also noticed the guests I wanted to see, Tobio and his team. Issei, yo Tobio, nice to see you. Tobio, mutually. Congratulations on your wedding. I hope you will live a happy life. Lavinia, yes, I'm also glad to thank you for the invitation. I didn't think I'd go to the wedding. After that, I went to the altar. St. Michael was waiting for me there. My best man was Ddraig, because he was with me at the beginning of my life up to this point. Issei, so all that's left is to wait for the bride. Brace yourself, Issei. Ravel Pav. I was nervous because today is when Issei and I are going to be a family. I hope everything will be fine. I went out into the hall. Issei's friends are Ddraig, Vergil / dog. Azazel sensei, Odin, Lady Tiamat. I also saw my family. I saw that my parents shed tears of happiness. I could see the smiles on Riser and Ruvel's faces. As I walked to the altar, I remembered how I had begun to fall in love with Issei. Like a knight from a fairy tale, he came to save the Rias from my brother, though I knew Riser had to be brought to his senses. I was surprised that he had no hesitation in sacrificing his arm for the sake of temporal power. He is a man who will always protect his loved ones, and I'm glad that this man is my husband. I walked to the altar, and Michael began the ceremony. The third person Pav. Michael, my friends, we have gathered today to witness the miracle of love. Today we see how our children have grown up and have weddings. So I'm Michael, Chief of the Seraphims, asking you. In the meantime, the Roswise was teleported. In place of the Roswise were Rias and her retinue. They were felt. Others knew they were using castling to get here. They blended in with the crowd and waited for the moment to take Issei back. Michael, Issei Sparda, do you take Ravel Phenex as your wife? Issei, I'm due. Michael, do you swear to be with her in joy and sorrow, sharing adventure and joy? Issei, I do. Michael, Ravel Phenex, do you take Issei Sparda as your husband? Ravel, I do. Michael, do you swear to be with him forever? Do you swear that your heart will always be with him always? Ravel, I swear. Michael, then I proclaim you husband and wife. Now you can kiss, he smiled. Issei and Ravel kissed. The others rejoiced and whistled. Parents cried that their children had grown up. After that, Issei felt something was wrong. Issei Pav. Anger boiled inside me. How dare they ruin my day? Issei, everyone. Get down. I created a seal as a shield. It protected me from magic. I've come to know that power. Issei, angry. You admit that you've lost me. I saw Rias, Aquino, Asia, Kaneko, and Zenobia. They were not satisfied, of course. If you lost your boyfriend, you'd do that too. Rias, I won't let you marry her. You'll marry all of us and we'll be together again. Aquino, yes, my love, I don't want to lose you. That's why you're going to marry me, asterisk, she made an innocent smile. Asia, Issei, please, we want to be a family again. Isn't that what you want? Zenobia, Issei, one way or another. But you're going to love me and I'm going to have your children. Issei, bitch, I already marry her. You don't know when to go away. I warned you about it. Prepare. Ddraig, Issei, catch, throws a sword. Issei, I got it. This blade was black in color and had an ebony scabbard. The blade had a conspicuous intertwining. I felt that the familiar was in the blade. Got it. Issei thought Yamato. They used Yamato to create this blade. Now this is getting interesting. Got into a standing position. First I decided to play with them, then I'll deal with them. I dodged their attacks first, and I parried Zenovia's attacks with my sword. I moved a little to the side. Issei taunt, come on, that's all. Do you seriously think it's okay to ask for my heart when you can't make me sweat? Ha 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 ha. Rias, you're going to love us, whether you like it or not. Issei, well then let's start the funeral. You Ray first, you. I used my wings and flew into the air. I spotted Aquino shooting lightning bolts at me. I blocked her with several lightning bolts with energy blades. I shot one of her shoulders to distract her, and all the time he was to red-haired bitch. Issei Ultima. I launched her with countless blades, and of course she shut herself off with barrier from them. But she lost sight of me, and that's her last mistake. I used the trick down, then I started using the C combo, upper slash, then the aerial combo B, and to finish it off, the aerial cleave. And the bitch fell to the ground. The faces of the girls on her team were grimaces of horror. They saw the man they loved, now a cold-blooded killer. Not only did that frighten them, but fact that the power of destruction. He absorbed the power of destruction. Issei thought, damn, it hurts a little, but oh well. Now I'm going to take care of the bitches. Issei, there's left, 4. I swapped my sword for a Beowulf. I started beating Kaneko. I didn't let her recover, but I was distracted by the attack of the Zenobia on her back. But I dodged to use the trick. Issei, a blow from behind. Didn't think you could fall lower. Issei, frightened. Issei, please, stop it, no. You wouldn't have killed the president. You're not a monster. Issei, oh, I'm just a consequence of your decisions. Thoughts, well, let's try. I began harvest energy to create a ball out of the power of Issei. I shot them with that beam, killed Asia, but was unable to hurt Kaneko and Zenobia. I moved to Kaneko and used the beast uppercut, then I jumped and used lunar phase with starfall and end. Suddenly, I heard a voice that was familiar to me. I saw Kuroka standing to the side. Kuroka, Issei, please, I beg you to spare the Shiren. Issei, okay, my love, I'll spare her, but only because you're asking. Unexpectedly for me, I felt that I had been pierced. I saw that I had been pierced by Zenobia with Durandal. Issei, furious, very bad choice. I kicked her to the side and she crashed into the wall. I noticed that Aquino was back in the air. Issei, Aquino. Smirk, I took out my Skafnung and activated the swords. She shot lightning bolts at me. I was able to rise above her vision. I stabbed her from above and we fell. She lay bleeding and kneeling, with a skafnung piercing her in the chest. Aquino, my love, please cry Issei whispers in his ear no more. I don't need your love. Now, die for me. With that words, and I began to take her strength, as she breathed her. I pulled the sword out of her body. Issei, you're the only one left. Last words. All I could hear was her crying. Issei, okay, those were your very last words. She rushed at me, swinging her sword. I picked up my sword again, and with a single blow I shattered her durandal into shards. She fell to her knees and I brought the blade to her throat. Issei, farewell. I used a void slash to finish. I turned to them, and I could see the horror on their faces. After the massacre that happened now, others looked at me with horror, except Vergil and Ddraig. Issei, sorry about that. I told them to leave me alone. Rias, Aquino, Zenobia, Asia, they paid for their choice. Kaneko was saved only by Kuroka's request. Surzech, Issei, I understand you, but Rias was my sister. I'm sad that this happened. And Milica's will also be sad that her aunt is not there. Issei, Zech, I'm sorry. I personally didn't want them to die. I just wanted them to stay away from me. I warned them about the consequences if they did not heed my words. Azazel, yeah. It's good that we weren't the ones against you, kid. Odin, yes, I agree with Az. It's your calm and cold gaze, your equanimity. But this holiness with the Gremory girl scared me. Early, you would have died for her. But now you killed her yourself, without regret. I held out my hand to Ravel and she hesitated for a moment. I don't blame her. It's not every day you see your husband killing his exes, but I hope she won't leave me. But my doubts were dispelled by the feeling of her hand holding mine. Issei, Ravel, I'm sorry that you had to see this. Ravel, it's okay. I understand that you don't want to kill in vain yourself. You want the peace and happiness that you've wanted for a long time. And I, as your wife, will help you and will not leave you. Until death. From her words, I felt confident that she was the one. As soon as I started smiling and calmed down, I started thinking, how could they get through? I personally gave invitations to others. Azazel asked for more. ROSSWASC. Of course. Rias used castling to get here. The question remains open. Did Rosswise bring them here on purpose or not? Issei, is something wrong? Issei, Azazel, did you invite Rosswise? Surzech looked at him with a disgruntled look, because he understood how his sister got here. Azazel, hey, what kind of look is that? I had nothing to do with it. Issei, I would argue this. Azazel, oh, and you're there too, kid. Issei, as, you gave her an invitation, you forgot that there is a evil piece inside her, to be more precise, the rook. And you forgot about such a trick as castling, switch of the king and the rook. Azazel, what? Oh, I forgot about that. You used this trick in time for the leadership meeting to save the half-vampire. I just shook my head at his stupid mistake. I used magic and moved her back to question her. She appeared, it was obvious from her face that she was scared. Thought, it seems she was just a victim of circumstances. I don't hold it against her. Surzech, Rosswise, we want to know if you specifically told Rias about Issei and Ravel's wedding, because when the castling was used on you, Rias appeared. Rosswise, so what happened, and why is there? Oh. Azazel, she came in here, well, points at Issei so that he not notices someone was pissed, I won't say who. As a result, Rias, Aquino, Zenobia, and Asia are dead. Vali, I'll tell you for myself. I saw Issei looking at him with the intention to kill, scared, Sparda, was cold-blooded. I was a little scared. Rosswise, oh Odin, Issei, did you really do it? Issei, yes, I killed 4 of them alone. Along the way, I took something away from them. Created a sphere from the power of destruction in my. Everyone present, except Verg and Ddraig, had their eyes popped out of their sockets. Vergil remembers that he also took power from a defeated enemy after his death. Issei, how in the name of all the clans of the underworld can you use this power? This is the same power that Rias and I received from their mother. Issei, in one of the books that I read before my vacation in Kyoto, it was said how to take the essence of power or the power itself from creatures. And I believe that as a demon, I can take away the powers of others. And it's not just what I took today. Now the holy lightning is in my arsenal. Vergil said how he personally took away a demon's power after killing it. Azazel almost lost consciousness after hearing what Issei said. Not only demonic, but also the power of a fallen angel in combination with the power of lightning is now in the hands of this boy. He scratched his head a little and thought about training the young demon dragon to control the power of light. He also wondered how his friend would react to the death of his own daughter. And yet I asked Rosswise. We realized that she was really innocent. But I don't understand how Rias was able to understand then that she was invited to the wedding as matter. Well, this issue is still very, very easy to solve. Now these are not more important questions. The main thing now was to understand how to apply new powers to me. So with the help of some books, Vergil's advice, and a lot of advice from my teachers. Time skip 3 months later. I figured out how to use holy lightning and just the power of light and just lightning. Azazel also helped me figure it out very well. His gift came in handy. It was a replica of a boosted gear, and after thanks to modifications, I was able to create a more powerful version of the armor that Euclid had. Speaking of lightning and light, when I started training with Barrakiel, he was very angry with me for the fact that, well, I understand how you would react to the person you are teaching that he is the murderer of your daughter. I fought him, it was a pretty good battle, but I was able to get out of it. Also speaking of the new, I met many heirs or clan leaders. Getting to know Sequeira from the Agar's clan was strange, but strange. I was surprised that she was interested in anime, mostly the mecha genre. I told her which ones she could watch. She also helped me understand the power of stopping time, as her clan had the ability to control time. I also met Laisha from the Astaroth clan, the clan of Lord Adjuka and the sick bastard Deodora. She apologized to me for his antics. I only had grudges against Deodora. I have no grudges against the clan itself and his members. On Earth, I started going to the academy again. The territories that Rias used to have now belong to Sona. She doesn't hold a grudge against me, even though she was upset that the red-haired woman didn't listen to the voice of reason and rushed to her death. Fortunately, thanks to the fact that I read a lot about demonology and magic, along the way I read a lot of literature, science, and lot more. I agreed. I passed the exams and was told that I could skip the rest of my time at the academy. To be honest, after I found out about it, the others in the academy started pestering me, asking me to help them. They were mostly guys. Personally, I didn't care about them. But it bothered me personally that they even go to Ravel, hoping that I can help them through her. Honestly, when I found out about it, I beat up a bunch of guys and threatened that if it happened a second time instead of the living world, the realm of the dead will await them. They understood me and no longer annoy me or Ravel. The girls finally realized that I was not a pervert. I was also molested for dates. I refused them, and even a couple of times rudely. It came to the point that I told them that I was already married to Ravel. In general, life at the academy was annoying. Now I was sitting under a tree and listening to music. The music ended. I went to the house and started getting ready to eat. I already thought that I should move out from my parents already, so I started packing, but I had an unpleasant conversation with them. Goro-san, we need to talk. Issei, and about what? Mickey, you don't tell us anything. You won't tell us where you've been living for the last couple of months. It's like you think we're strangers. Although you don't have anyone closer to us. Issei, do you want to know where I live? Fine, I live in a house with Ravel, that's why I never come here. I came here to get the rest of my stuff. Mickey, but son, we also want to know how you are. Wait, you married? She saw the ring on my hand. Issei, yes, I'm already married to Ravel, and believe me, you won't see your grandchildren because you didn't try to help me, you know what. After many adventures that I went through, I found a real family. You're just my first family, but now, you are just a part of my past. Now I use magic to look like I used to, so I turned off the spell and my parents saw my current appearance. I took my things and started to open the door, but I was interrupted by the sound of sobbing. I turned around and saw my mother in tears, and my father was trying to comfort her. He was looking at me with anger. Miki, but please think about it. We are a family. Issei, we don't share blood. You're not my family. Goro, ungrateful. We've given you everything. What made you change so much? It's not you. This is not our son. Our son was kind. We loved him despite his perverted antics. My father would turn in his grave if he saw you. You're not Issei. You're some kind of darkness that used it and changed it. His words made me laugh. I finished laughing. I saw a grimace of horror on their faces. Issei, you dare to judge me. Ha 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 ha. I am just the CONSEQ in CES, and the path that I have traveled over the past year. Do you even understand how hard it was for me after my trauma? I only RECOVERED from my first death a few months ago. By the hand of his first girlfriend. You don't know what I went through to become who I am now. Goro, the first death, you already died. Issei, yes, GOROU, let me tell you a story. And I began to tell them about my exploits and deeds in the supernatural world. They were shocked that I could defeat God. They also showed an expression of horror when they heard about several of my deaths. They also felt ashamed that they couldn't help me earlier. Issei, and now, farewell, consider this house my parting gift to you. As for Asia, you can grieve her, I don't care. I told her to leave me alone. I said the same thing to Ria's. Both of them and two other girls didn't listen, and now, they're dead. Mickey began to cry again because of this. She didn't think I could do this. Before, I prayed to God that she would be alive, even though he was dead. Now I've personally taken her life and the life of girl that let the fallen angel kill me. I left the house, leaving them in the house, and I moved to the house I live with Ravel. Issei, hey dear, how are you? Ravel, it's okay, I'm tired. I want to rest, hugged me, and now my rest will be better. Issei, oh, I'll be happy to help you relax. So what do you want to do today? Well, thanks to the money we received as a gift from the guests, I was able to add a couple of things a little bit. For example, now we have a home theater. What does my dear wife want to see? After that, we watched movies until Ravel fell asleep, resting her head on my shoulder. Issei, it looks like you've had enough movies for today. Asterisk took her like a bride in your arms. Okay, my Phenex, let's put you to bed. I went to our bedroom and saw Kuroka, who was lying, apparently waiting for me, and it was clear from her face that she was jealous of the way I was holding Ravel now. Kuroka, oh, Issei, why don't you carry me like that? And where is the attention for me? After that, she made a displeased but pleased cute face. Issei, I'm sorry, but I say the next time we'll be with you. I approached and whispered in her ear. Issei, and believe me, you will definitely like it. Kuroka blushed and said, Kuroka, I wish that time come. After that, I heard a notification sound on my phone. It was a message from LaFay. She wrote that she wanted to go on dates with me again, and that she needed to go back to her family. Oh yes, I also need to introduce myself to the Pendragon family, although I think they know about our relationship. In my mind, I sighed because I didn't think having multiple girls would be so troublesome. Before, when I was with others, she just tried to seduce me and get me into bed. Ravel, Kuroka, and LaFay, although they want to be with me, they like the kind of person I am, and I am very glad that I have wives like them, although I feel that if it comes to having children, Ravel and Kuroka, it gives me the creeps a little bit from these thoughts, although I would not mind having a couple of children. After that, I fell asleep. The next day, I woke up and, as usual, Ravel and Kuroka were lying with me, holding my hands. I used a trick to get up. As soon as I got up, I went to the bathroom. I took a shower, brushed my teeth. After that, I got dressed, packed a backpack, and went to the academy. Sona met me at the entrance. Issei, Sona, good morning. Sona, good morning, Issei. I noticed that she was worried about something. I decided to ask. Issei, Sona, what's the matter? Sona, Issei, and you come to the student council room after class. Issei, wow, what kind of reason is that? Sona, just come, okay. Issei, confused, okay. Time skip, the end of the school day. All lessons are over. I was in class, writing something down. I went to the student council room. I knocked and Tsubaki opened the door for me. Sona, Issei, come in. I entered the room and greeted Saji. Issei, hey. Saji held out his hand. Saji, shook my hand, hey Hayu. I squeezed his hand, because to call me by my old name. Issei, when will everyone remember that I'm not a Hayaudu anymore? I keep squeezing Saji's hand. Saji trying not to show signs of pain. Okay, Issei, I get it. I let go of his hand and stood in front of Sona, and I noticed that there was a chess set on the table. Issei thought, did she invite me for chess? Sona, Issei, thank you for coming. Issei, Sona, tell me, why did you call me? Sona, do you mind playing a game of chess with me? Issei thought, I knew it. Issei, okay. We sat down to play. I'll be honest. He's a pretty good strategist. Praise be to her for that, but I wasn't going to lose anyway. Time skip, the end of the game. Issei and checkmate. I can't believe I beat Sona at chess. Although looking at her face made me feel a little uneasy, I looked at student council, and their jaws dropped from what they saw. Issei, so, what was the catch of the game? Sona, do you remember the recitation with the wedding with Riser? Issei, yes, and Sanu, I signed a contract with my parents that, who can beat me in chess? Issei, unpleasant, you. Sona, exactly, congratulations. Issei, Sona, I'm going to stop you here. I refuse to marry you. From my words, I saw how her and Tsubaki's glasses almost fell off, while the others fainted at my words. Sona, stunned, BB, but WIU won, and Issei, you made this deal with your family, not with me. Sona, but please think about it. You are welcome. I understand that I am against arranged marriages, but understand. I wanted to marry my husband on my own terms. Issei, my decision is permanent. My answer is no. I got up and started to leave. Issei, have a nice day, Sona. I left and closed the door. Now I was sitting in Ryutemaru's cabin and thinking about the future. As always, it is foggy and somewhere on the horizon. Serafal of course begged, even threatened that I should marry Sona, but no. No, and I only need 3 wives, I don't need any more. Honestly, I didn't think I could get peace and family. Now I have moved back into the house, placed Ryutemaru in a pocket dimension, and I entered the house. I went to bed with Ravel, Kuroka, and Lefei. The 3 of them lay down with me. The next morning, I woke up and I could hardly get up because when you sleep with several women at once, you have to learn how to get out of bed. As I got out of bed, I quickly got dressed and went for a walk around Kyoto. While I was walking around the city, I received a message on my phone it was from Sensei. Azazel, Sensei. Issei, go to the urgent matter. I contacted Serzets, Serafal, Ddraig and Vergil. I saw the message and hurried to the Orc building to find out what had happened. Knowing Sensei, I believe that the matter is serious. When I came to the building, I saw a familiar face, Vali and his. Issei, hey Vali, still looking for someone to fight, battle maniac. Vali, irritated, maybe so, but at least I can get stronger this way. That's the difference from you. Calm down. So, how is Lefei? Issei, she's healthy and happy. Lefei's brother Arthur joined the conversation. Arthur, I hope so. Issei, by the way, Arthur, do you mind fighting me? You're Volley too. Volley, finally, I thought you were rusty. Arthur, I'm flattered and accept the offer. Biku, oh, and there is no one hello to me. Issei, I'm sorry, man. How are you doing? Biku, I'm okay, congratulations. What is life like as a husband? Issei, the feeling is pretty good. The warmth you want to give to your loved one and protect them. Volley just got drunk from this, Arthur, which surprised me, smiled. Volley, okay, it's time for us to stop talking. They're already waiting for us. Issei, let's go then. We went inside and I saw that Sensei was sitting on a chair. Surzets and Seraphol were standing next to him. Ddraig was sitting on the couch and Vergil was sitting opposite him. Issei, Sensei, I got a message. What happened? Azazel, I think it would be easier to show. Sensei used magic. He created projections of several. I looked at the projections and noticed that Vergil was interested in it. Issei, Verg, I think you know who they are. Vergil nodded. Vergil, yes, I recognize these creatures. These are the Hell Vanguard, Chaos and Fury. These are the demons that Dante and I are fought with. Azazel, I'll add my 5 cents as well. It took 2 well-trained fallen angels to kill the skeleton. I'm not even talking about Red, he. Surzats, yes, it took a lot of devils and fallen and angels to kill the red demon. Seraphol, yeah. Vergil, unsurprisingly, the most dangerous trait of Fury is his incredible speed. He can disappear at least, and thanks to his blades, which are formed from his blood, he can ambush very quickly. From Vergil's words, I understand that these are creatures with whom you need to be careful. Issei, Vergil, you said that when you and Dante went to hell, you sealed the portals from there to Earth. Vergil, you think that someone opened portal in Underworld, then moved them here to Earth. Issei, yeah, I have it's an uncomfortable feeling that I'm right about it. Azazel, kid, I also think you right. And knowing our enemies, I think it's Kao's brigade opened the portal. Surzets, Azazel, I also want to say that although we have dealt with Euclid, he is still free. At the mention of this person, I noticed that Volley clenched his fists. I remembered who he was talking about, Volley's own grandfather, Rizvim. This means that the Chaos Brigade still has sorcerers and was able to open a portal from hell to the underworld. Issei, so what are we going to do? Vergil, I personally believe that the demons are a sign that the Chaos Brigade is desperate. You and I, Issei, have destroyed the hero faction. Azazel and got the curse of Samuel, so they won't be able to harm the dragons or anyone else. Issei, let's not forget that Vergil didn't kill the entire faction. Among them was not the owner of the Annihilation Maker. We don't consider Cao Cao to be killed. He is in Gregory now, right? Azazel, yes, they don't take their eyes off him. If we can win him over to our side, that will be good. And all the same, the Chaos Brigade's plan to free the beast has failed. They don't have Grail, Spear, and Fruit of Eden. So the demons, their last attempt to strike. Ddraig, so we have to make a move, but only which one? I can suggest which one. We were frightened and Seraphol jumped. A moment later, we turned our heads and saw Ophis standing in the corner. She was wearing different. Issei, Ophis, I asked you not to do that. You've also said that you have something to suggest about this situation. Ophis, it is Issei. I can try sending a few people to deal with the demons. In the meantime, the others will be here preparing for the attack. After you, Issei, helped me, I'm going to help you. Surzets, if you can't do it, I can ask Ajuku to help you with a teleportation spell. Ophis, okay, Gremory. Seraphol suddenly decided to ask the inappropriate question. Seraphol, so the Ophis, how do you like the new clothes? We ignored her question and got back to business. Azazel, so it's decided. Ophis, Ajuka. Issei, I can help. Vergil, no. Issei, before you fight the demons, you must be at peak and master all power that are at your disposal. Issei Verg but. Vergil, no buts. Surzets or someone to contact someone who can help Issei become stronger. Azazel, I have a better idea. I think it's time for us to assemble our organization. Surzets, you mean the one that we created during the meeting? Well then, I'll alert the other leaders to be ready. A few months have passed since that meeting in the club, and it was quite good, so to speak, probably busy. I'm now hunting my swordsmanship skills with Vergil and Arthur, and I'm also doing hand-to-hand combat with Vergil. I improved my magic under the guidance of Sensei and Surzets, and I wasn't the only one trying to get stronger. By the way, I was able to meet many people who entered the organization. For example, the Joker of Heaven. His name is Dulio, a rather strange but kind and even holy person. He usually travels the world and helps churches, also visits the orphanages and gives them food. Others also do not sit idle and train under the guidance of Sun Wukong. At first, I trained in the same way many people trained, for example, Vali. He tried to amplify the Juggernaut drive and his own powers inherited from the blood of the original Lucifer as much as possible. Surzech also spoke about how Rizvim himself fights and warned the Vali not to rely too much on the sacred gear, as Rizvim can undo the effect of it. Ser Jorg and his peerage also trained. He wanted to strengthen the form he used when he fought against me. He and his team also amplified strengths and weaknesses. Sona with her peerage. I was also surprised by what happened to the rest of the Ria's team. Kiba and Gasper and Rosswise came into Sona's possession. Now they are part of her team. Sagi tried to reach the balance breaker, although it was difficult, but he did a pretty good one. Gasper has finally learned how to control his own gear, and not only was he able to achieve balance breaker, it turned out that he could summon creatures created by darkness as but still interesting. Kiba learned a new trick. He can create multiple knights, up to a maximum of 3. Flashback. During one of the training sessions, the 3 of us met together and talked about how they spent their time. Issei, hey guys, it's been a long time since we've seen each other. Kiba, yes, it's been a long time since we've seen each other. Issei, okay, how are you? I must have ruined your life after. Wedding incident. Gasper, you know, Issei, I would apply another word to this case. Massacre. Kiba, yes, we were a little uncomfortable at first, but thanks to Sona and some other members of her peerage, we quickly adapted. Even Gasper is no longer so shy, and you notice that he has changed a lot. Gasper, hey, I can't hear you. Issei, by the way, Gasper, how are you after that fight with Euclid? Gasper, I'm fine. There was pain, of course, but I recovered quickly. Issei, by the way, I wanted to ask, how are you and Valerie? Gasper, irritated and made a face. Haha, don't. I don't advise you to ask like that. Okay, jokes aside. Well, we're fine. I was finally able to handle my gear normally and can more or less set the time. I was also surprised by what was well shocked about the features I found. Issei, what are you talking about? Gasper, well, Valerie and I explored the castle that was in my family, and I found notes that are related to me. The notes said that at birth my mother, I don't know, but it was written that she saw a real horror, my father from this, and called me a monster, and did not interfere with bullying and abuse in my direction. I guess it was from my sacred gear. Issei, you mean that the forbidden Balor view has some another ability? Yes, he has another but more terrifying ability. At this sudden voice and application we were a little frightened, and when we turned around we saw Azazel. Azazel, forbidden Balor view, is a complex sacred gear. It contained a part of the consciousness of the dark god Balor. Not only a part of consciousness, but also a part of its faculties and essence, such as the creation of shadow beings. Issei, it's an unbelievably powerful ability. I'm not surprised why Gasper was so feared by vampires. I'm not even talking about the fact that he's a Dampier and not a simple vampire, so he's not afraid of the sun anymore. That is, it can be said that Gasper will become one of the strongest vampires in history, even in the entire world. Kiba, by the way, Issei, I would like to ask. You don't mind one sparring? Issei, no, I don't mind. Promised one sparring to Vali and Arthur, so you can join. Gasper, you can too. Gasper, me too. I would to kick your ass. Issei, ha, the more the merrier. Flashback over. Back to the present. I was just standing in our training arena. Around me were Vergil, Arthur, Ser Jorg, Vali, Kiba, Sagi, and Gasper, all of them for the same team. Well, Semir was against me alone. Azazel, everybody ready. Ravel, Lefay, and Kuroka, on their faces it was clear that they were very worried about me who wouldn't worried. There were 7 people against me and they, quite troublesome to fight. Also watched Surzech with Grafia, Serafal. Sun Wukong was also watching. Concentrated, and the fight began. Sagi and Gasper wanted to hit from both sides, but I was able to catch their fists. I teleported a bit and they were momentarily distracted, and their heads hit each other. I took advantage of the moment when they got a little distracted and hit both of them in the jump with a split in the. To keep them out of my way, I took out my Skafnung again and summoned the blades of the. Issei thought it distract them for a while. Now I switched back to the others, and in the blink of an eye I was able in an instant to pull out a Scallon. I was able to parry Arthur's blow with Caliburn. We had a few hits and there were sparks. Every blow was passed and every one I parried. But I was able to throw him away with one kick. He flew to the. Optimus Issei, Dreadwing Arthur. Also I quickly noticed out of the corner of my eye that Kiba was quickly rushing at me. I quickly switched to wrapping straight and used the C combo to directly quickly cut through his swords and break. But he jumped back a bit and summoned his soldiers. I changed to Beowulf again, and with the help of the kick, I was able to smash everyone. Then I used the trick up, and with the help of Starfall I was able to knock him. Clearly, they decided not to hold back and activated their balance breakers. The Wali activated his scale mail, and Ser Jorg activated the Regulus armor. Vergil is on the sidelines for now. I also decided not to hold back and activated the Devil trigger. Vali flew up in the air and started shooting magic at. And Ser Jorg tried to catch me and hit me. Thanks to the fact that I mastered the Dark Slayer style, I was able to turn away very well, and thanks to the trick I was able to move to Vali. I used a Requiem in an aerial combo, and was able to knock the Wali to the ground, and was able to knock it out for a short time using an aerial cleave. And suddenly, I felt that something in my head was telling me to get. I crouched down and looked for a moment and saw that a fist had almost come from behind me. I saw that it was Ser Jorg's fist, and I switched back to Beowulf and counterattacked a few, and decided to use the Dragon Breaker to finish it off, and was able to knock him. And he flew into the wall. Issei thought, 4 down, 3 to go. Issei thought, 4 down, 3 to go. Gasper balance breaker. A huge amount of darkness began to form under Gasper, and creatures came out and attacked me, but I was able to dodge. I do not know how, but this feeling helped me again to dodge in time so that I would not receive damage. But nevertheless, I decided that Geyser would no longer interfere with me. I also decided to use a powerful Beowulf technique and created a huge explosion of light. This threw him aside, but there was no Gasper. It only destroyed his creatures, and I felt this feeling of anxiety again and turned around and saw Gasper, who was cloaked in. Then I decided that it was not worth holding back and decided that instead of demonic power, activate my dragon power. My new dragon form, well, the dragon form was mostly made of pale gray scales. I noticed once that if I compare the color of my scale with the color of Albion, then my scales probably look pale. I would even say deadly pale. Ha ha. Issei excitement, so, Gasper, let's continue our. I used lightning and shaped it into the shape of a spear. Azazel's pav. This kid really already scared me seriously. He knocked out both Ser Yorg and Vali. Ser Yorg Baal, strongest young devil, and Vali, a descendant of the original Lucifer and the owner of the divine dividing. Then Arthur, the heir of the Pendragon family with the family sword Caliburn and a pretty good swordsman. I decided to ask Surzech something. Kiba, who created a wholly demonic sword. Interesting how he counteracts against Balor's gaze, Vritra's power, and Sparda's blood sun. Azazel, I'm not the only one scared that Issei can fight so well against multiple people, right? Surzech, not only you, I'm even afraid to imagine what would happen if we let him out on the battlefield and there would be. Our enemies would only be for a massacre, and considering what we see, he has already activated his dragon form. And if he also finds a way to combine it with demonic and dragon, I think we will completely perish. He will even be stronger than me in my true form. Ophis, yes, the new dragon is getting incredibly strong, and it's amazing that he can be said to be an anomaly of this world. Azazel, glad to see you. Ophis, you're right, and so, what do you think he's going to command? Ddraig is the embodiment of domination, Albion's supremacy. What do you think it will be? Seraphal, I bet that will rule the light in the dark. Surzech, I'll bet he's going to rule destruction. Azazel, oh, youth, I knew for sure that Issei would be the personification. Surzech, and tell us. Azazel, no, I think he'll come up with it himself. Azazel thought, I think he will be a dragon, the embodiment of change and chaos. Graphia, concerned, by the way, did you notice the color of its scales? Surzech, took a closer look. Yeah, its color is pretty, not healthy. Azazel, I can guess that the scales turned white from Albion's power as Issei suffered because of Dragon's fall. And as paleness, I think it's a side effect of the fall. Ophis, yes, Azazel. I can feel that Issei is healthy, and the color of the scales is the effect of the vanishing dragon and the curse. Back to Issei. I stood there and the scales covered part of my body. Also, I felt a surge of energy. I decided to activate the spear and attacked. I was only able to hit a few times, but he was able to dodge at first and started summoning creatures again, so I decided to use a little trick. Created smaller spears and replicas of it like Vergil's summoned swords. I've shot these creatures. And yet, as I thought, I was right, thanks to the fact that spears are made of electricity and light. They were able to deal very good damage and even caused a bit of paralysis in the creatures and Gasper. So I decided not to stand on ceremony and used the strongest attack on the spear judgment bolt. I gathered the strongest charge in the couple spears and threw them into the air. It disappeared, but from the same place, a huge bolt of lightning struck. It struck twice. Gasper reverted to its normal form and said, Gasper, breathing heavily, I'm not panting done ye. Without speaking, he fainted from exhaustion. I turned around and saw Sagi, and he pronounced, Sagi Vritra promotion. Vritra, Melbalja Vritra. After that, Sagi was entwined with black flames, and a moment later, I saw that he was wearing black armor. Issei, smirk, I didn't think I was going to be an inspiration. Sagi, seriously, yes, I took your old balance breaker as a basis when you had boosted gear. I know I won't beat you, but I won't stand aside, so come on. I just smiled and stood up and said, Issei, I'll knock you out with one move. And in the blink of an eye, I made several cuts on the Sagi and made a big blow to the abdomen. From those blows, Requiem was able to destroy the armor she immediately. Sagi fainted, and there was only one person left for me to fight, Vergil. I've deactivated my dragon form, and to be honest, I can't put it into words yet, but this form is more difficult to control. Song end. Issei, just you and me left. Vergil, yes, you've made pretty good progress after all this time. You are truly worthy to be called the son of Sparda. Issei, yeah, but I couldn't have done it without those who were with me. Without Ddraig, without you, Vergil, without those who loved me and helped me survive. without teachers to help me learn everything again. And that's why I won't stop. I'm going to protect the people I care about, not only them, but also those who need help at least here in the world, so I won't back down. At my words, Vergil did something that I can't believe. He smiled. Vergil, well then let's fight. Issei, let's get this over with. Vergil, battle. Issei. We both sheathed our weapons and stood in stances. We were both waiting for the moment when one of the two of us would strike. And a moment later, we both went to attack each. Sparks flew all over the arena. Each of us, so to speak, teleported around the place and attacked. Both of us were not far behind each other and were looking for a moment to strike and just as quickly dodged in. I tried to attack Vergil again, but he was able to repel the attack. He deflected my sword and threw me back. In the blink of an eye, he was in front of me, and our blades collided. Vergil, I suggest you to give up. Issei, funny, I was going to tell you the same. Vergil used sheath. He knocked the ground out under my feet and threw me aside. I was on one knee, but quickly got back on mine. He made a dash in my direction. He launched several attacks but dodged. I was able to catch Verg's hand with my foot. I jumped up and threw a stab that threw Verg back. Now he was on his knees. Issei, you offered me to surrender. Now I offer you Vergil. I suggest you surrender now. Vergil, you know that nor you nor I will not give up until one of us loses. We were both tired. We understood that we had to finish the fight in one blow. The two of us went in different directions, standing up. We were preparing and understanding how to strike. We decided to put everything into these shots. Therefore, Vergil activated. After a moment, we rushed at each other and struck. From the collision, a huge wave appeared. We faced each other. Vergil stabbed Yamato in my chest and I stabbed him in the stomach with the Requiem. We were both breathing heavily. When I tried to pull the blade out, I couldn't pull it out. Vergil also tried to pull Yamato out, but he also had problems. We both fell to our knees. Now I had to stay conscious. We both tried not to pass out. But Vergil was the first to fall. Issei, joy, I won. After that, everything went dark, and I fainted. It's probably been a year since we started all this preparation for the battle against the Chaos Brigade and the demons, and of course I was surprised that so far everything has been quiet. Too much. But for now, I'm thinking about how I can slay the demons and their king, Mundus. I'm now in Lord Ajuka's domain. As the ultimate class devil, I need my own pieces in order to assemble my peerage. Ajuka, Issei, you can come in. Lord Beelzebub called me. I entered a huge hall, near which stood a huge statue in the form of a statue of a chess piece of a king. Near the monument stood by the Ajuka, Surzech, Serafal, Azazel Sensei. Also there were Ravel, Leffe and Kuroka standing next to me. They were really waiting for me to get my pieces and be able to assemble my team. Issei, so, how do I get my pieces? Ajuka, it's simple. You just have to put your hand on the monument. Your energy will gather and be transferred to your pieces, and they will be ready. Issei, understood. I put my hand on the monument, and it glowed a little bit. After the monument lit up a bit, I came out of it. What Lord Ajuka pulled out of it. The box inside it was my evil pieces. The pieces themselves glowed in part with blue-violet. Issei, is it them? Ajuka, I congratulate you, Issei Sparda. Now you are the king of your peerage. Surzech, keep it up, bro. Good job. Azazel, well done, kid. Now you can create your own peerage. Ajuka, let me ask. Ordinary pieces of evil reincarnate person into a devil. What can pieces of Issei do? Ravel, well done, Issei-san. Kuroka, oh well. Now our hubby has his own peerage. I hope he will add us. Leffe, your rock, Issei. She put on an innocently cheerful smile. Ajuka, you have to remember what kind of creature Issei is, and we know that he is half dragon, half demon. I personally think that these are the hybrids that those who will be part of the peerage of Issei will turn into. Azazel hahaha, and if you take into account that Issei has also become stronger. Oh God, I feel sorry for those who will fight against them. Deciding to interrupt their flight of fantasies, I decided to thank Lord Ajuku. Issei, Lord Ajuka, thank you. Ajuka, it's one of the lesser things that the supernatural world owes you, Issei. After that, I opened the box and saw my pieces of evil. I looked at them and wondered if I should use them. Sirzech, you okay, bro? Issei, yes, I was thinking who should be added to the peerage. Sirzech, do you have people in mind? I can help or give advice. I grinned a little and answered him. Issei, no thanks, Zech. I'll decide what to do with it for now. I activated the pocket dimension and put the pieces. After that, we remembered what a day it was. Today is the opening of a school for low-class devils. I personally supported the idea of Sona, which cannot be said about most of the aristocrats. Ha to hell with these. I hope they remember not to anger a dragon, especially one who is as strong as Ddraig and Albion when they were still in the Great War. Our thoughts and conversations were interrupted by the Ophis. Ophis, Issei Sparda, you have to go with me. I was surprised and decided to ask what was wrong. Because if the dragon god of infinity tells me to go with her, then it's definitely a serious matter. It moved us into the dimensional gap, and a moment later, a gap appeared near us. An old friend came out of him, the Great Red. I helped him and the Ophis with their problem. She has since begun to come to us, and has become more passionate about the world, although she retains her emotionality. Ophis, Issei Sparda, formerly Issei Hayadu, who changed the world, became overstepped your not only limits, but you've even changed the perception of the world. Great Red, who slew the immortal Phenex, who slew the true spear, the heir of the Dark Slayer, thou art truly the most worthy. From their words I didn't understand. Worthy, but what? These are the questions I asked myself. Ophis, therefore, I am the god of eternity Ophis offering you a gift. She stretched out her hand, and several snakes appeared from the magic district. Ophis, my gift to you will be a fragment of my power, because you are the one who truly deserves it. You've done some of the things that others couldn't, and therefore you're worthy of it. Great Red, as I observe the other people and beings of the world with us, I have seen that you are indeed the one who has changed the world, therefore my gift, I offer you my flesh. You can change your body to a completely dragon god. After that I was shocked. I was surprised that the Ophis offered its power and the Great Red offered its flesh. About Ophis' offer, I think I should take it. As for the Great Red's proposal, I'd rather keep it as a backup if something happens to me and I need a body. After pondering my thoughts, I told them my answer. Issei, Ophis, the Great Red. I accept your offer, Ophis, I'll accept your power. And as for the Great Red, I want to keep the offer standing, but right now I don't want a body. The Great Red was surprised by the suggestion. He decided to trust the young dragon's decision and upheld the offer. And at this time, Ophis released several of her snakes. When he began to touch me, there was an unpleasant sensation, but after a moment it was replaced by the sensation that there was a second. Issei, this feeling, incredible. Thank you. I turned into my dragon form. My dragon form has changed. After that, turned back into a human form and moved back to the others. Ravel, Lefay, and Kuroka immediately approached me. Ravel, Issei, thank Satan that you're okay. Lefay, Issei, do you know why the dragon god wanted to talk to you? I smiled a little and answered. Issei, it's okay, just a conversation and offer for me. When we all went our separate ways after that, the four of us returned home. I decided to hang out with the girls for a while. I saw that Ravel and Lefay had gone to the library. I went to them, but before that I decided to brew something. I thought about it and stopped at hot chocolate. I just went to the kitchen, made hot chocolate. I went to the door of the library and knocked with my foot. Hearing my knock, I heard that they were going to the door. Ravel opened the door for me. I went inside. Ravel, did something happen? Issei, no, nothing happened, just decided to sit with you for a while. Do you mind a hot chocolate? Ravel, no, we don't mind, take a seat. We sat for a while and I thought about the future. We tried to think about what might go wrong tomorrow. They also said I should change my style, at least a haircut. So I used the requiem and cut my hair, was lucky that I was able to do it well. I was also looking for something to wear and decided, so I used the requiem and cut my hair, was lucky that I was able to do it well. I was also looking for something to wear and decided. Issei, new look next. Ravel, new look next arc. P.S. Sorry if I did it badly. I drew it myself, hope you. Lefay, new look next arc. Add to this outfit her blue. Kuroka, new look next. Issei, by the way, Lefay, what are you reading now? Lefay, I just read about one case, a few cases that happened in one of the cities in Japan. Issei, really? And what happened then? Lefay, I think they called it the Holy Grail War. For the I remember that it seems that the three families have opened some kind of path to the dimension where the knowledge was hidden. Yes, it was the Madu, Tosaka, and Einsburn families. These three families came up with it. They came up with something called the Holy Grail, after which people who had actually participated in this war came to the Magic Association, like their names were Shiru Emiya, Tosaka Rin, and Sakura Madu. These three were involved in the last war. They also said that the Grail itself was cursed, because it contained a servant whose class, I think, was the Avenger. Issei, and what did you mean by that? Lefay, this war itself involved summoning the ancient spirits of heroes from legends like our ancestor, King Arthur. Ravel, unbelievable. I didn't think that even such magic could exist. Issei, not only you, Ravel, it was also news to me too. Issei, I'll try to contact the Magic Association as well. Since you've told me that I can summon heroic spirits, I think I know who I'm going to try to recruit my peerage. Two of the girls had a look of shock on their faces. They had no idea how risky their husband was. The use of heroic spirit as a member of their peerage has never been attempted by any of the known devils. As Issei spoke, Kuroka entered the room. She put her arms around me from behind and I felt her breasts. Even though I knew we were married, still, the feeling of it is somewhat unpleasant. Kuroka, and what are you talking about? You didn't invite me to Kyoto either. I really don't like it. Issei, I'm sorry, kitten. I'm going to bring it to you. I went to the kitchen and started making hot chocolate for Kuroki. Since she's a nekashu, I'll milk more milk in this portion. Meanwhile, the girls were talking. Kuroka was being told about Issei's idea of creating a peerage of heroic spirits. She remembered the unpleasant experience when her master tried to create a super devil. She might try to talk to him as well, but she thinks Issei won't go down the same path. Time skip morning. Now I'm hopping my new clothes and I'll be honest, girls, you've been pretty good, and we'll find it's pretty good today. Is a pretty important day. I've also dressed pretty well. Issei, are you all ready? I got a nod from them and moved to the academy. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed What If Issei Was Heir of the Sparda bloodline, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Check out our other videos for more epic fanfics, and I'll see you in the next one.